Yo, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of The Strange Road. I'm your host, Mikey, and as always, riding shotgun, the bro host, Bub.
What's up?
And of course, tonight, the loner stoner in master control,
The wizard.
Disbro will be back on Thursday, however, and we have a special show on Thursday for y'all.
Yeah.
We
He's
can
held
talk
up.
about that a little bit later, maybe in the outro.
Yeah. Stoners in the tower alone.
Yes, so Stoner, kudos
it
to you,
down.
making everything look and sound great tonight. So we've got a pretty special, spectacular guest tonight. Actually, the very first guest we've ever had on this show.
It goes way back.
So guest number one, ROA from ROA Studios and Fifth Element Tattoo Gallery here in town. ROA is the brilliant artist that has helped design our logo, the mural that you see here behind us. He really helped me kind of vision board what this room ended up becoming.
Yeah.
And, we're had so much support from him.
If you're in Columbus, you can see his work all around town too, on
Yes.
some outdoors works in Grandview, right by my chiropractor's office. Actually, you have
Murals,
the Frida Kahlo mural,
amazing.
which is amazing. But yeah, he's got some really cool pieces around town to check out too, though.
So, without further ado,
Yeah.
let's welcome Roa. What's up, dude?
What's up? What's up? Thank you so much for letting me be here. That's for sure. I'm honored to be here right now. So it's amazing to be here right now.
Mikey's
To see
been
all
fired
this
up.
all together. So
Oh my gosh.
yeah, full
Mikey's
circle
been on
for-
one.
Yeah,
He's
full
been-
circle for sure.
Yeah, he's been raised like,
Yeah.
I'm gonna get Carlos. He's like catching a magic rabbit. He's like, I'm gonna get Carlos. I'm gonna get
That's
him.
what's up. That's
Well, yeah,
what's up.
we've been trying to line up. You had a big trip, which we're going to get into a lot of some of the experiences that you had in March of this year.
Right.
But just wanted to kind of let everybody know, in case you guys haven't seen episode number 1. If you haven't, definitely go check that out, because and it was shot in what we refer to as Little Bro Zone.
Little
Right.
bro
The
zone.
beginnings.
Yeah, the little 9x12 closet,
Baby
that we
bear
had.
bro zone.
with a desk, and you came in and we had a great conversation. It was like right when COVID was hitting,
Right. Right.
and everyone was nobody knew what was going on exactly. Everybody just kind of, it was a strange time, and we
Very
talked
strange time.
a little bit about like, where do we go from here. The episode's called A New Reality, and we appreciate everything you've done and helped out with us with this beautiful set. So awesome.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for the opportunity. You know what I'm saying? I'm glad seeing it all come together and stuff like that. So it's really cool.
Yeah,
To,
there's a
like,
lot of people that
kill it.
walk in
Yeah.
there just blown away. They're just like, "What is going on in here?" And we're like, "Right, right." That's how we feel every
We
time
shout
we
you
see
out.
it.
We try to shout you out
A lot.
as much as we possibly can.
Yeah.
We get comments on the studio quite a bit, and it's always worth sharing. Couldn't have done it without you. Even to the point where we had so many ideas, too many ideas, and you came down here one night, and we just kind of, for 5 hours, sat down here
Brainstormed it.
and
Yeah.
chopped it up, brainstormed it out,
Right.
and you had your iPad
Yeah.
and just drew up a rough sketch. And the next day I was like, what do you think about this? I'm like, because we had some ideas we were kicking around with, different shelving and some of that stuff, which I think is still some stuff that we want to add, like these circle shelves on each side here on the walls. So you came back with this and was like, yes, this is great. This is it.
Yeah.
And then so to watch it all kind of just slowly, once the colored panels were done, that's when all of a sudden I saw those, because this wall was looking
Yeah.
like this for, a little bit. But as soon as those 3 pieces went up, it was just like, it was great to see.
Yeah, absolutely. It was cool to see you guys starting from the beginning, starting in the little room and stuff like that, and now you're here.
Yeah.
So congratulations on the success. This is dope.
Man,
This is dope.
yeah, it's been a ride. It's been fun. So it's just incredible to have you on. Tell us a little bit about yourself, what you're up to now, and some of your adventures with your tattoo shop,
That's
and
okay.
what you're up to.
Okay. Of course, I'm a tattoo artist and painting and murals and stuff like that on the side. Pretty much everything, just kind of putting myself together after the trip I just went to a couple months ago. I got some things planned for the summer, planted some seeds or whatever a couple months back. So I got some murals, kind of marinating, getting ready to activate for the summertime. A couple events with the local museum here. So we're gonna do some events with that, with the shop and myself. So got a couple events with that. Just other small endeavors and stuff like that, and definitely trying to plan for the future of traveling because I'm addicted now. So I gotta go everywhere. I gotta go everywhere.
You got the bug.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Got to.
Yeah, you had a pretty incredible trip, and I know for years you've been telling me, man, I gotta go, I gotta get somewhere, I gotta travel somewhere, I gotta, I don't know if you can tell us a little bit about your background and kind of what was preventing you a little bit from traveling, and kind of how you ended up, getting to the point where it's like, you're going.
Yeah, absolutely. I think, well, the universe wasn't letting me do it because I wasn't ready at the moment. So prior the couple months or whatever, I wasn't able to leave out of the U.S. because of my own situation with, whatever. But I finally got, I think maybe a year ago or whatever, I finally got my citizenship, which allowed me to actually travel. And before that, not to go too further deep into it, I found out trying to apply for the passport years ago, only to find out like you can't have one. You have to go, talk to immigration, blah blah blah. So it took me that long, from like I'll say 2013 to actually get my passport. As soon as I got my passport, I was like, I gotta go. I gotta go. Because I've been, like I said, I've been talking to you about like, I gotta go. Yeah. So now I was allowed to go, and now I can go anywhere, that I wanted to go. But I told myself, or it told me like, first go here and then, go there, go wherever else you want to go. But I first had to go, to Mexico. So, yeah.
Wow. And we've been going over some photos and stuff since you got down here today. And we can go through some of those. Yeah. But, so when you flew into the Cancun area, correct?
Yeah.
So when you landed in Cancun, did you stay in the Cancun area, or did you automatically start trekking to somewhere?
I think it was more, I say trekking. So I flew in there. My game plan, I guess prior to all that, I know I wanted to, because of my art and my background, I know I wanted to go to different pre-Columbian, places and stuff like that. So it was mostly hubbed in Central America. So I had to start, I figured like, let's go through Mexico and then go as I grow or whatever, go down further all the way till I get to, Colombia or, further down south of South America. But that was the first step. But I was just going to go to Cancun and do like a loop, I guess a J up through Mexico up to Mexico City, and then go back to El Paso, and then back to home, Ohio. So I started in Cancun, just kind of flew in there because there's really nothing in Cancun, especially with how much time I've had there. I only had like maybe 3 weeks, so 3.5 weeks there in Mexico. So I just jumped from Cancun all the way straight onto the bus to Valladolid. So so it was just like a one.
Get going.
Just drop me off and then
right out the gun.
Gotta go.
I love it. I love it. What was the? You obviously just not doing it before, not taking a trip like that, getting through all the struggles of getting the passport, right?
All that,
You have a lot of anxiety, or people mix anxiety with excitement. Sometimes we misconstrue. I'm anxious, but are you excited or are you anxious? It's both, right?
Right.
And then you get there and you start the first day. You kind of like figure things out the next day. But you build up that centripetal force pretty quickly to where you're like 2-3 days in, you're like, I'm good to go. Like I'm on it. Yeah. I feel all right. I kind of have my eyes in a certain way because it's a different culture. It's a different sight. It's different sounds. It's different everything, right? Like, but it's so much fun immersing yourself in that and getting lost in like, this is crazy. I can just go somewhere different anytime I want. It's so wild.
Exactly.
I think you were down here maybe 5 days before you left.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You were
here right before you went out.
Talking about GoPros and cameras and memory cards.
Like, oh, God,
I got my tattoo right before I left of my food hog.
Yeah.
And
Which
I
is still
definitely
awesome.
sense like excitement,
yeah.
anxiety.
Oh
like,
yeah, super
you were,
anxiety.
yeah, just and trekking alone.
Yeah,
Doing that trip
exactly.
alone. I think
That's a big
Yes.
thing. That's
Yeah.
that's
I mean,
bold, my friend.
yeah.
That's awesome of you.
Like prior to Mexico, you know what I'm saying? I came from Colombia, so I know like from starting that to be uncomfortable, but going to Mexico, you know what I'm saying, and just being trekking out alone is just definitely like what the hell are you doing kind of vibe, you know? When I
Yeah.
got there, I'm just like, what the fuck? Like, what are you doing? Like, you're
step
doing
by
what?
step. You knew you
Yeah,
had to get to
'cause
the
I had
first
yeah,
place.
there's-
Yeah, how you
There's a
put that
game
together?
plan, but not a game plan. You know,
Yeah.
I kind of broke it down to what I want to see, and that was the objective, which was
Yeah.
going to see these pyramids because they've always
Yeah.
been like, you know, all these
We've
things
talked
I've been
about 'em a lot.
studying,
Right.
whatever, you know. But other than that, just fill in the blank, you know, with whatever kind of falls into place. So yeah, I just went with that vibe and just kind of took buses and just went off of that. And just knowing that I wrote down like itinerary, of course, you know, like a time frame, but leaving it very open to whatever happens, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it was
Letting it
awesome.
take you where it's like, hey, I have to, not have to, but this is a place I want to end up.
Right.
However the hell I get there, I get there.
Yeah.
And that's part of the fun and excitement of the journey is probably everything in between.
Right. And there's 1,000 pyramids down there, like, you know, there's billions.
crazy.
So I started off with like 15, and then right, and then I was like, you know what, you are not
This is an
gonna be able to-
all-you-can-eat buffet
Right,
of pyramids.
right.
Yeah.
Right. So you have to break
grief.
it down to like, let's be realistic. And
Right.
How many?
Well,
you
one
can see.
site can have 15
Exactly.
That's
sites
amazing.
within
It's,
it.
it's
like,
a whole. Some of them are a whole day
15.
thing. You know,
Chichen
2-day
Itza
thing.
has, God, there's
Yeah.
so many that aren't
Yeah.
even rebuilt and they're just piles of rubble
Oh yeah.
and all over. I mean, there's got to be over
Yeah.
100 or something.
Yeah, I went there early in the morning. Even there, went there early morning, and at the end of it, I was still rushing to just see it.
Try
all.
to see it all, yeah,
just
it's
running
so
around,
wide
just
open.
like
Yeah.
because you want to like sit down and relax and you know like absorb
Take it all in, yeah.
But then you realize it just keeps going and going and going. And You're
Right.
just like, oh god.
Yeah.
Yeah, you spend 5 minutes
Yeah.
here, it
And then-
adds up.
Yeah, I was running to catch
It's-
a Collectibles trying to get out of there, like because I was running so late behind, just
Yeah.
going through everything.
But you went at a good time. It probably wasn't as hot, was it?
It was okay.
Yeah.
It was okay.
Because it gets real,
Yeah.
real hot
Like
in the
yeah,
Yucatan.
yeah. The
especially.
Yucatan is like
Humid.
Yeah,
Very humid.
very humid. But you know, I enjoy that a lot. To be honest with you,
Yeah.
I bet
Yeah.
the Yucatan was amazing.
it was. I think that's probably my favorite place. Honestly, the Yucatan. It was really
Feel a
nice.
sense of home there.
I did. I really did.
Yeah.
I felt like it was the most home body place ever, for sure, out of the
Wow.
whole trip.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I know what you mean by that. That you literally almost feel like there's a magnetic center to where you. I get that
Right.
because I sort of feel that way about where we grew up back home. Has an affinity, but it's not like I don't want to live there.
Well, you have generations of people.
Right, I
that
like Columbus,
your
but I've never
family-
found anywhere I'm like, yep, this is it. Like this
Yeah.
is the place. Like
Yeah.
that's cool.
And that's the thing too. Is like a lot of the places that I did go. I mean, this is for me personally. You know, with my background and roots and stuff like that, it definitely felt a sense of like returning back home. That's how I felt with a lot of the places. It's just like, damn, you know, it's like this feels like one I've been here before.
Yeah.
Back again, kind of revisiting versus visiting. You know, so it was really, yeah, it's amazing.
Did you have a lot of people that were doing similar types of things as far as how you were traveling, or was it you and a bunch of locals and they were going, who is this guy and where is he going? And did you get into some of those
Mix it up.
scenarios? I'm just curious because it's definitely happened to me before in traveling to where we're like, you can tell you're off the beaten path of what normal tourists do.
People
and
can
there's
tell that you're.
yeah, and there's definitely more adventurous tourism, but
Yeah.
I'm just wondering what's that kind of. Was it every so often you'd be like, oh, where are you from, or another country, but they're kind of doing the same kind of.
Right. With me, I blended it pretty well. But at the same time, it was a little bit of A and B because it's like, yeah, I blend in, but at the same time, you know, you got tattoos and stuff like that. I'm like, who the hell are you, kind of thing. Like,
Sure,
where,
sure.
You know, where you coming
Right,
from, kind
right,
of thing.
Sure.
right.
You know, but yeah, it was a smooth situation. You know, I don't know what to say. You know.
Well, I just didn't know if you saw more. Say, like if Mike and his wife were doing it, or myself and my wife, or another person just traveling by themselves. Did you run into any more tourists that were kind of going along and, you know, almost like a little ant line? Like you can meet people on a trip and they're like they're going off on this way, and you might
Yeah.
catch them again on a different route because A lot of times people are going to
Definitely.
take similar routes even. So
Yeah, definitely did a beaten path for sure.
Okay.
Definitely saw, and then I was like, instead of doing that way, I'm gonna do it this way.
Okay.
Instead of getting a tour guide at the pyramids, I'm just not going to and just do my own thing.
Yeah.
That kind of
Yeah.
thing. So I definitely crossed paths, but definitely ran away from that because I'm trying to get more acclimated, more observed, like getting into the whole fucking,
sure,
the
sure,
whole thing. So,
absolutely.
The best tour guides are the ones that you run into by accident.
yes. Yeah.
That's
yeah,
the
absolutely.
really good tour guides.
Those are the best ones for sure. For sure.
That's when you
yeah.
pay for the tour.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly.
Because, I mean, like I kind of was letting you know, it's like, dude, you're going to stumble over vans and people driving around. You're going to run into people that are going to be able to take you, and you can work directly with them, skip around. Like, people book excursions, and it's like, no, you just go mix it up. And
Yeah, I don't want
find
to do an
people
excursion like that.
to come pick you up, and, you're on the road, and it's pretty easy to get places, which is cool.
Yeah, it's real easy. You just have to hop on and ask, that kind of situation.
Yeah.
you
Right.
know? And so definitely did that. The tour guides and I just really did my own kind of self-guiding situation. I just kind of went with the water of it, didn't have a plan, just kind of just fall into place of things, so I
Nice.
just run into all sorts of things, events or whatever, different situations,
Festivals, probably.
festivals. I ran into so many random festivals. It
That's
was
awesome.
wild. It was wild.
Party down there.
Yeah,
It's always a
beautiful.
celebration.
Yeah, exactly.
It
It was
is.
beautiful down there. Very beautiful.
I always have to know about food.
Food.
Was it good?
Hawaiian tacos.
Yeah, you know what? Honestly, I'm vegan or whatever, so it was kind of hard to get used to, because I didn't have a lot of choices.
Right.
But I do have to say, like the vendors and stuff like that, like fruits, fresh fruit all the time. So that's where I was. I didn't
That's
do
pretty
a lot of
amazing, though,
like the
still.
food exploring situation,
Yeah.
but
But even there, that's
Yeah.
pretty unbeatable, is the actual marketplace just for produce, because it is fresh. It's
yeah.
grown in a different way. It's not like, everything's GMO genetically. Like
it's a culture shock too, of what is, what you're allowed to
Especially down in the
grab.
Yucatan.
Yeah,
There's some wild
yeah,
fruits that I'd never heard of.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, absolutely.
Dragon fruit I'd never had until I went down to the Yucatan. Which is it's great stuff. Now, you did a lot of walking. Is there
That's all I did.
like a backpack, or how did he actually said that he thought he brought too much stuff.
Yeah, I think I brought too much stuff for sure. Like I did a solid,
Yeah, that's amazing.
45,
45 pounds?
bag. And
Baby, you're in
Yeah.
shape after that, I'll bet.
yeah.
I mean, literally, the first 2 or 3 days, you're going to feel that hard.
So it was that situation like I didn't have a,
Were you just
trying to
walking
go
from town to town?
town to town. I just jumped on bus to bus, that kind of situation.
You went whole hog. I love
He
it.
went back.
You went whole hog.
Yeah, I didn't.
backpacks
Yeah, I just went with the flow.
Mexico.
So I just took a bunch of adios, and just went to for staying wise, just a lot of hostels. So I did a lot of. That's how I went by.
Yeah, no, that's
So,
great. That's a
yeah.
great experience too, because it is such the way you did it, especially, which is kind of how I like to do things. My wife is a very good planner, so we follow plans a lot of times with her. I like to figure out, I didn't know about this. Maybe I'll go that way. So when you get done with that and you kind of look back on it, you're like, man, how did that all piece together? And like, that's wild. Like I decided to do that. Like it's so burnt into your brain too, I think, on doing such a big trip, the first one right off rip.
Right.
Like
It was a lot.
that's great. I'm
was a
still
lot.
happy
Yeah.
for you, man.
Yeah,
That's
thank
awesome.
you so much.
Absolutely.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, it was definitely scary. That's for sure. A lot of like anxiety, lies.
I bet.
Like
How
what the
did
heck
you
are
sleep
doing?
when you got down there though? After say day 1, day 2,
I was good. Yeah, it was really good.
kind of wash off all those worries and go,
Yeah,
okay, I'm
it was-
here.
yeah.
Flights, and there's a lot of buildup just to getting there.
Yeah,
Flights is a lot of anxiety.
Yeah, luggage. And,
Getting to Cancun, as soon as I got Cancun, it's just tourists. Everybody's just
Yeah.
ready to like party, and I'm like, oh god,
Big party time.
So
You
I
gotta
tried
get
to
out of that crowd.
try to leave
I've
right
partied
away.
there.
Just yeah, it was a rough start.
Cucamongo. Go
Yeah.
Bongo. If you like to
So,
party, go to Coco
It was
Bongo.
definitely a rough start in the beginning because my phone wasn't working. I was like, oh crap, I'm here. What do I do? That kind of thing.
Yeah.
But as I went to one pueblo to another, each pueblo I got like used to, I got all the anxiety taken care of. And then it started up again because I had to go to a new one, So all that started building up again as soon as I started pulling up to a new, spot. It's just like, oh God, here we go again. I don't know what to expect,
Absolutely, but
That makes you tough.
I think it makes you
Yeah.
grow as a person
Yeah.
too. We've definitely been in situations like that where we took a taxi ride and it's called a song towel.
Yeah.
It's a pickup truck with a cab cover and bench seats from Chiang Mai Airport in Thailand. We're the only two people in it. And I mean, when we left the city, you're going out in the jungle. There's no light. It just, you saw the city just like gobbled up by the darkness. And then we're just like
Right.
hearing the road noises, woo, tires. And my wife's like, what if? And I'm like, honey, I'm so calm at this point because I'm like, honestly, if that's what's going to happen, we're screwed. But if you want to think that way, if you want to be scared of traveling, you can make all these boogeymen and, scary things about it to keep you from going out and doing it. And that's the whole thing about once you kind of get out. I mean, that we do this constantly in life. We have to learn, right? And that's what I think is hard for people to wrap their heads around. Why do I want to take this trip that's going to be scary, difficult? But when you get done with it, how much better do you feel about growing from it and like having that experience? Like that's where I get almost like a runner's high contact buzz from your trip because it's making me think about traveling and how much I love it.
Right.
It's amazing.
Yeah, it's definitely
Does a lot.
yeah, playing it smart, playing it careful, that kind
Don't
of
be
situation.
stupid.
Exactly. That's just don't be stupid.
Yeah.
But at the same
Be
time,
respectful.
exactly. So I didn't go there, to drink or anything like that, or
Right.
to any bars or anything. I'm just there really to absorb
Yeah.
as much as I can,
Yeah.
So I follow my gut. There's places I'm like, all right, maybe we shouldn't go this way, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
But just following those instincts, just really
think that's
going off
smart.
of those,
Yeah.
just playing smart. There were some, like I said, there were some scary times in the sense of like, oh God, how am I going to get back, to this and that, or how am I going to go to and from that kind of situation? But honestly, it was just really giving in and giving up and just saying everything's going to be taken care of.
Feeling that almost like you're just part of the wave.
Yeah.
And finding out how to find that rhythm in the wave too,
Right.
and like you're saying, just come to it and be like, all right, cool. I'm on this trip.
Right.
I got to write it out. Like, again, try to do it as smart as I can, as safely as I can, learn as much as I can, enjoy it. I mean, it's fantastic.
Yeah. And the whole thing, I mean, spiritual talk and stuff like that. How it came to be. I know we talked about it in the past, like, hey, I really want to go. Talking about like, gotta go. I gotta do this because I gotta do this for myself. So I did this. I have this painting. Like it's a wood carving. It's like like the size of a door or whatever. But long story short, I put it in an art show that wasn't supposed to be an art show, and I put it for a high price. And it was a self portrait, and it had a lot of Mayan and whatnot in this, and it sold. And that painting itself was a confirmation and gave me the funds to go to this.
Oh wow!
Yeah. So I was
what?
just like,
I did not.
Yeah,
I didn't know.
Yeah. So it was just like one of those like,
That's so cool.
So I was like, oh, I have to go because there's no
Oh,
excuse.
bro, that's
There's
the
just like,
sign.
That's so
Yeah.
cool.
But some people overlook that.
yeah.
They're not. You got to be aware of like, hey, this opportunity just arose,
Right.
and take advantage of the situation that it provided at that time, instead of just going, oh well, dude, you hopped on it.
Yeah, and then realization, getting there, like the whole journey of from then to now was the whole getting you prepped up to that moment. That was a big like realization. I'm like, wow, like all this stuff that I've been working on, whatever, hiking and here and doing my own thing, blah blah blah, really got me prepared
You were
for that.
training.
Yeah, exactly. I didn't know I was training the whole time until I realized I'm like, oh crap.
Yeah.
Not that I want to
You were
jump
ready.
away from it.
Yeah.
I do have. I'm curious because I know you said this has charged you up. I want to travel more.
Yeah.
What was, and not that we're going to skip over this, what was the first place you thought of after? How far now are you like, I'm going to go here. I'm going to go there. I'm going to be in this language. I'm going to be in this climate, did you have a next, or is there like another site you wanted to
The
visit?
first
Is there
place that
another?
we went to right away, like
Yeah.
Ekbalam. Am I saying that right?
Yeah, I think you are. Yeah, this is a Jaguar Pyramid. You know, that was like the first one. Everything was kind of laid out.
Welcome to the Yucatan moment.
Exactly.
bro.
Exactly. So everything was very tied in personally for me as I went through this journey. I felt like I was like kind of, I guess you would say, just unlocking things, you know, for my own self, you know, through the journey, and just kind of like a passage. I guess like a spiritual journey, you know, that kind of situation. Just really unlocking that and just going there. I mean, it was overwhelming. It took a lot for me to not, you know, just not. I was just overwhelmed, just the empathy and stuff like that. I just wanted, like, emotionally, I was just everywhere. I'm like, oh crap, like, I'm here, I made it, I can't believe I'm here, and now I feel it, and you can just feel it, you know, that kind of thing. So it felt really like an impact of emotions overcame me through the whole each site.
I believe
it. Definitely that one, and you can just feel the presence and just doing the things that my imagination thought I would do. Like, I want to go here, climb it, and I want to meditate on top of the pyramid. I was like, oh crap, I'm doing those things now. So it was just like, it was amazing.
So you're kind of speaking your wishes into existence
Creating
type feeling.
reality.
Yeah.
In a
So
way.
I know what you mean. I know what you mean.
Definitely a whole manifestation journey of everything. That's for sure.
I told someone today I used to wish
And
for
that's
things
stuff-
to happen, and then I had to actually realize you have to do things for things to happen.
Right.
It sounds weird,
Yeah.
but in my
work to get
imagination,
there,
I was
yeah.
like,
Yeah.
something's just
Started.
going to select me. The universe is going to do something for me. And then I'm like, no, it's not. It will if you help yourself. Okay, maybe the Chris Rock analogy. This is going to be a real small segue. You want help pushing your car? Somebody will help you if you see them pushing their own car. If you're just sitting there waiting for somebody to help you push your car, nobody's going to help. But if your car's broke down and you're pushing your own car, somebody's stopping to help
that's
you.
Facts. No.
So if you're sitting there waiting for it to happen,
Yeah, nothing. You can't wait.
you got to get
Right. It's like
Hey,
waiting for a
man.
bus. You may never get picked up.
Absolutely.
Exactly.
And I'm
You have
saying
to
me
actually-
personally, I just kind of had even that moment not too long ago, and it led to a lot of change in my life. So it's wild to think that you're saying the same things. Like, man, I said I'm going to do this, and that's where it's at. Same with Mikey and Stoner setting up this studio along with you guys. I mean, that whole bringing it into reality. Like,
Exactly.
sounds cliche, but don't just talk about it, be about it.
It manifested, but at the same time, not realizing how it's going to turn out. It's all a surprise, you know? But at the same time, letting it be whatever. Don't get upset if it's not this or that. It's all going to be revealed itself. And
If it becomes something you didn't think it was.
Yeah.
I only hope that.
It's like a faith in the process.
I want to be surprised of what, I mean.
Right.
You know, if you know where your end point
This
is
show
and
might
you're
be completely different in 5 years. We might be
sure,
doing, I mean,
sure,
who knows?
we might be reviewing the best bagel bites. Who knows?
Well, yeah, we all know the best bagel bites. We don't need to debate that.
I love throwing just a random in there for Mike every time. He's
I
like,
have to blink and make sure that we're. Yeah.
But no, that's great, man. Because I think that's very powerful, and I think people have forgotten that they can do things like that for themselves. And here's the reason why is because everything's so immediate anymore. It just seems like, oh, it just happened. Your trip just happened, Carlos. It's on Instagram or Facebook. It just happened. You're like, this took me years and years of work. It didn't just happen.
Yeah, it took you a long time.
Right.
Right. But
That's
at the same
what
time,
people
I think
can't
people
grasp.
talk their ways out of it too.
100%.
So they just find reasons not to. Oh, because of work. Oh, because of this or because of that. Or they find like reasons not to, even though they want to.
Right.
So, and I definitely don't want to be trying to do this when I'm like, oh, I'm 70 now. I can do it. That kind of thing. Like I don't.
But then you're old.
No.
Yeah, exactly.
Can you climb up a pyramid.
Right. Exactly.
At that point?
Exactly.
You probably can. My dad could definitely climb a pyramid. He'd be fine. But you never know when you're younger and can.
You can't wait.
You don't want to wait on it.
You gotta do
hitchhike
it. Just do it.
around with a 45-pound
Right.
backpack.
Literally.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If I'm doing that at 70, geez, I better be getting sponsored by some
Getting
kind of
ranked.
help.
Yeah.
Yeah. Health line.
And that's the thing too. Like you're never going to be ready. You know what I'm saying? You're just gonna have to just do it.
You got to throw yourself to the wolves.
Just exactly. Jump in. The water might be cold, but you'll get used to it.
Oh man.
So yeah.
So when you went to Ekbalam, is it a trek from like you started taking off towards right when you landed, or did you hang out for a little bit around the airport?
So
How'd you get
airport
to the first Jaguar?
airport.
temple?
had a rough time because I didn't know what the hell I was doing. You know,
Yeah.
honestly, like
Yeah.
I didn't, you know, so I just went with it. Anyway, went through all the trials and tribulations, and then went to Valladolid, and magical place. I love that place. And it's right between that and Merida, if I'm saying it right. So it's right in the middle. But up north is that where the Jaguar Pyramid is. So I stayed in the city of Valladolid, where stayed there, and then went up and then came back. So each place
Yeah.
I stayed in the Pueblo of whatever.
Town next.
Yeah. And then I chilled there and
Dude,
then
that's
kinda,
where it's at right there.
and then went to the different pyramids
Yeah.
that way.
That's
you know.
what's
So what would you do in the evenings when you would come back from your tour trips? Would you journal? Would you dinner, just kind of reflect,
Right.
hang out, and just kind of, because that's a long day.
Right.
It's a long day every day.
With me, I got no stopping, so I just explored. So every time I got off the bus, as soon as I went to find the hostel, put myself, situated myself,
Yep.
and then I'm like, all right, I'm gonna explore. So
Get
I
out,
went
yeah.
to the first thing is just you go to the parks, the Central Park or whatever. To each city has one.
Okay.
You go there and everything's good, So that you go to the main center where everybody gathers and just kind of like explore, safely explore around that place, and that's what I did. Just get like immersed into everything, figure out where you are, see what's around you, that kind of thing. So, I mean, that's the first go-to that I did every time
Nice.
I got off. Just settle your stuff and just go.
Yeah,
Don't wait
yeah.
for tomorrow. Just go ahead and go, and then come back, rest, and now you know where everything is, and now you
Yeah.
can do it in the daylight or whatever.
Do a little recon of,
Yeah,
a
exactly.
little
So I
check
just
of where you're
just
at.
scouting the whole, what
Absolutely.
I'm working with.
Absolutely. No, it's smart.
Yeah.
It's smart
Yeah.
to lay down a plan and foundation of that, like daily and stuff, because it does. It's hard when it's changing like that. The one nice thing though is at least you're staying within the same language.
Right.
Travel through Europe and stuff like that. We were changing a language every couple of
yeah.
days, so that was just like forget about it. I'm trying my hardest just to remember what country I'm in, but I can't even attempt the language after a while. I don't know what I'm saying, and it's my 7th country. So what do you want me to do about it? But that's always a big sticking point for English speaking people not wanting to leave the U.S. because they're like, I don't speak Spanish. I don't,
Right.
and that's a real thing too.
Right.
I don't remember much of my first couple of days in Paris because my brain was just on how do I survive? How do I get on a bus? How do I get on a subway? How am I calculating money?
Right.
How am I breaking the language barrier? What am I eating at the restaurant? It's not, I can't,
Yeah.
you kind of feel like somebody's giving you a lobotomy and you've woken up in this world where like nothing really works the same way, but it all does. But you just have to figure out that movement.
There's a couple like little things, some of the dialects is different. That's for sure.
Yeah.
That you have to get used to. And at the same time, a lot of the spots had their own original language,
Oh,
So,
really?
Yeah, so Maya and stuff like that. The original language was still like alive
That's
in the
cool.
city. So it's just kind of like, wait a second, that's not Spanish, that
Yeah.
kind of stuff,
And you would perk up to that pretty quick when you hear this and go,
Yeah,
what
you
was,
just- right? I was
did
like, wait a
you-
second, right?
did you catalog any of them or get any of the sayings or?
I had one teacher, whatever, I kind of ran into. He kind of showed me a couple words, like Mayan words or whatever.
Yeah.
But other than that, no. Other than that, I was just kind of like understanding like ways that this is a different like a dialect of this, Spanish. So that kind of thing. Or this is not Spanish. They're speaking Aztec.
And how does that
Wow.
continue on though? What's not saying just get rid of it, but how is it kept going on for so long? Is there's a reason?
Well,
is it just
people
family to
still
family?
live
Yeah,
pretty
it's just,
embedded.
keeping it alive.
Is that just an
keeping it
oral
alive.
tradition?
There's so
to
many
keep?
little
exactly.
towns and villages.
Exactly.
No, that's cool. I'm just
Yeah.
curious. I just
Yeah.
wondered if it was something of like a a
Exactly.
cultural thing or if it literally is a useful like
Mexico's
they're using
so
it.
big. that
Oh, yeah.
There's
Yeah.
so many like
There's so
the
many
mountains
languages,
and
Okay.
desert. It
Yeah.
isolates
Yeah.
people.
Well, it makes me think of
into
like in
being
China,
able to-
like you can go to all these different provinces
Yeah.
and everybody speaks a different dialect to where like they can't speak to each other.
Yeah.
That crazy of like it's a
Yeah.
different dialect of Chinese, like where they don't understand each other.
Exactly.
That's wild.
Yeah, I think Valladolid, which was the first spot I really stayed at, it was beautiful to see the culture of the past generation, like the youth generation. They were celebrating. I know I went in there and kind of crossed paths with it, but they were celebrating their Mayan roots,
cool.
and they were just all speaking Mayan and sharing, like
Yeah.
it was amazing. I was just like, you guys are really like keeping alive and teaching over and over and over again about like there's more to us. There's more in how it's all connected, with Chichen Itza and all that stuff. So it was really amazing to see that, and it's still keeping alive throughout the city.
That's awesome.
Yeah, really amazing.
That's so cool. So the Jaguar Pyramid, you're there, and how many days would you stay at? Would you just
Like at a
visit
site?
it and just stay like all day? Like I'm gonna be here for like pretty much 8 hours, and
Yeah.
then you're head back down to the town,
Yeah.
rest up, and then right away in the morning you're off to another town.
So I usually, I'm trying to break it down. So I would go into the town, stay there, and then wake up in the morning and try to find the first way to get to the pyramid early in the morning. When they open up,
Right.
and stay the whole day there. I try to scout the whole pyramid site, as much as I can.
Yeah.
And then if I can find a stopping point, just kind of relax and do a drawing or whatever, do my thing. And then catch the last bus back into town, and then kind of scout again where I was, just get the whole nightlife or, the city life and stuff like that, and then go to bed and do it all over again by either just going to another bus and going to another town, so it was always just continuously like just on the go.
How was it taking the bus system? Was it overcrowded? Was it bad? Was it too hot? Was it uncomfortable?
It was surprisingly, like, it was difficult and not difficult. Of course, everything's in Spanish and stuff like that, but they go off military time,
Sure.
that kind of thing. So, but everything was pretty modern. The buses were, pretty nice,
Nice.
Honestly, it was like taking like a Greyhound to city to city,
It's not,
So
and that's what Mike was telling
Yeah.
us when he came on about being in like Nicaragua and Costa Rica.
Buses.
Yeah.
Anywhere.
Take the chicken bus too. Sometimes he said, take the chicken bus.
Yeah, the little Collectibles, and that's how the Collectibles is how I got to like from city to the pyramids, that kind of thing.
Okay. Okay.
So that's how you just jump on one of those or a taxi or something, whatever you can find.
That's awesome.
So yeah. So
Guy that's running a little business with a van,
it's just
anything.
Yeah, exactly. They have little groups.
Because it's a part of their tour. It's part of their industry for the town. So
Oh, sure.
Exactly.
There's a industry behind a lot of these places now, which, due to the internet, people are traveling to the Yucatan to see these incredible pyramids. Some of them were probably pretty, like Chichen Itza's nuts. Is that the craziest one in terms of
It was
tourism?
incredible. Yeah. You get there in the morning time. It's kind of somewhat, not as busy, but as soon as like noon hits, it's just bam.
Yeah.
Everybody and it's every language being spoken as tour guides and stuff. French and German, and everybody was there.
It was bigger and crazier than going to Stonehenge.
Yeah.
We went to
Oh, yeah.
Stonehenge, and it was much more insane.
But what's surprising?
Stonehenge was pretty nuts, like at the gift shop and around that kind of new area. But Chichen Itza was one.
But it's funny
So
is like people would go there. And
It was cool.
Yeah, Chichen Itza and stuff like that. They would go there for a pyramid, but a lot of people I noticed wouldn't explore beyond that. And the
No,
other
they
places,
just go to
just the main pyramid hub.
Me and my wife
And-
went all over, dude.
Yeah.
We were there for hours and hours and hours.
Yeah. And it was just wild. I was like, why,
Yep.
It was great. Because if you go away from it, it's you and yourself
Right.
and, blah, blah, blah. You can do your thing. But in the middle of it, it's crazy. Yeah. It's really busy, really busy.
So there, you can actually go to a university and get it all paid for and become a tour guide.
Oh, really?
So you can work for essentially the government, and they'll pay for all of your school. Our tour guide went through this program that they paid for everything, and she pays them back through giving these historical tours. She was incredible. She was such a good guide. We learned so much about it, and she was cool because she brought us all the way back into the ball court
That's
and
cool.
where all those columns are, which we do have some photos of a little bit later. But what's this photo that we're looking at?
Oh, that is
Ekbalam or
no,
this
that's
is after?
Palenque. That's
This is
after
Palenque.
Chichen Itza and the Jaguar Pyramid. So that's me in Palenque at the Palenque ruins. And I'm
Just an underground chamber.
Yeah, it's pretty much that's pretty much what it is. Honestly, it's inside some of the ruins of Palenque. That's not part of Palenque as the tour. Not tour, but as the park or whatever you want to call it. the site. So
Okay. What they kind of zone it as.
yeah, so I met a tour guide just walking in the streets of Palenque, just kind of ran into this guy and he offered me a tour kind of thing. We just talked and stuff like that. And he gave me a situation where he can take me through the jungle and stuff like that, and show me the side of the site, which still had a lot of the ruins that people just don't go to. So it was amazing. It was definitely a game changer. Awakening to many things, that's for sure. Because like I said, when I was scouting in Palenque, I got off the bus. I just scouting, just like I said, I went straight to the park.
Yep.
And I was walking, and I just ran into this guy. We were just talking. He's walking the same beat I was, and we were just talking. And he was like, "Hey," and he just, I guess I'll just tell you right straightforward. He was just saying like, "Hey, like, what are you here for? Like, where you from? Like, kind of thing, just blah, blah, blah." He's like, "Oh yeah, I'm a tour guide." And I'm like, "Oh, okay, whatever, whatever."
Think you're getting bamboozled?
Yeah,
Sure.
exactly.
You gotta be
on alert.
Red
Yeah,
flag,
you gotta
sure,
be
a
on
little
alert,
bit of red.
You
Yeah.
gotta be on alert.
Yeah, you'll get taken.
Yeah, exactly. So,
Not taken like Liam Neeson
No.
taking Jesus.
Yeah, no. And honestly,
Taken like taken for a ride.
with that being said, there was no fear in that at all.
Right.
There was no fear in that. I think it's
Right.
more of like mentality of what
Again, don't
put
do
on
dumb
everybody.
things.
Yeah, exactly.
Don't go
Just
down
don't be
dark alleys
stupid.
by yourself.
Yeah, don't be stupid.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I ran into this guy. He's talking about like the tour guide and stuff like that.
Cool.
And then he was like, "Hey, like I do mushroom tours." I'm like, "Mushroom tours? Like, what the hell is a mushroom tour? Like, what are you talking about?"
Really?
And I was kind of like, whatever. But he bust out his tour guide map or whatever you want to call it, and that's kind of like, all right, so you are kind of a tour guide, but I'm,
You're
Feeling them
You're
out.
007 in it.
exactly,
Yeah.
exactly.
Building up a
But
profile.
yeah, long story short, talked to him and stuff, and we went to the center of the hub of Palenque and stuff like that, and sat down and met up with his son. So we did like this whole meet and greet, just get the vibes checked and everything like that. So with that, we went ahead and set up this. I'm like, whatever, why not? I'm here. I wanted to manifest the shroom situation, so let's just go ahead and do it. Let's see how far we get with this, with just being smart about it too, So cut it short. Went in the morning, met up, grouped up, and got some shroomies or whatever.
You said you were surprised that he was actually there
Yeah,
right away in the
because I was
morning.
like, yeah, let's see what happens.
Yeah.
I'll show up.
No,
you know?
what I
Because
found
you gave
to
him
be-
some money.
Yeah, I gave him a little money, and
Yeah.
it ain't shit.
It's not gonna
but
hurt you.
Yeah,
It's
it's
just
just like, all
that's-
right, here you
he
go.
doesn't
But
come
we'll see
back.
what the hell happens.
No, but here's the
Yeah.
thing about that, because it's happened to me multiple
Yeah.
times, not in the same
Yeah.
situation, but going into a park in Costa Rica and not wanting to lose my cigarettes at the time. There was a local there selling whistles.
Yeah,
And I was like, hey, if you hold this, I'll buy 2 of those when I come back.
yeah,
Here's all my, you probably sold a pack of cigarettes, whatever. That guy is there waiting, like, no.
right.
Yeah, that's
Right, and so I
you're
mean,
dealing in,
I'm
like,
a
business.
yeah, and I'm a big believer for myself. I believe that people cross my path for a reason.
Yep.
So it was nothing that I was looking for. There's nothing
Right.
that was like it just happened. There's no like, it just organically happened.
That's pretty great, though.
And it was amazing. So, but at the same time, like I was unsure.
Yeah.
But I went ahead and like, hell with it. Why not? I had the intentions to be like, all right, tomorrow I'm gonna go to the site, But this came up, and I was like, all right, well, I'll just switch my days around. I can do whatever I want,
Yeah, yeah.
So I went ahead and said, like, the hell with it. Let's see what this whole shroom tour is. Let's see what happens, And I love shrooms, so that's a big plus. So I took I took some shroomies. We jumped on Collectible, and then went to I didn't know what the hell was going on half the fucking time, because I'm like, what the hell was going on? So we went to the site, but didn't go to the site. And then we start, yeah, right. So, and he's like, all right, go ahead and eat the rest of the shrimp, because I ate and half, that kind of thing. Just kind of like, slowly take it in.
Yeah.
But
It's a good recommendation.
yeah, so trying to like narrow it all down because it's such a big story.
Well, we have
But,
time. We have
yeah,
time.
yeah.
Don't feel
Okay.
rushed.
All right.
You don't need to
Alright.
trim the
Alright,
trim
I'm
the
just-
good parts.
yeah.
Yeah,
Alright.
We
leave
have so
everything
much
in there.
time.
So
Good.
so
Good
yeah, so jumped in this Collectible and shit. Went to the site. Went to the gate. He's like, go buy your tickets. I'm like, buy my ticket. I'm like, what the hell is going on? You know, it's being just kind of weird about it, you know? But I'm feeling the vibe. I'm good with it. So we're just going to go with it and see where this goes.
Yeah.
So I'm like, all right, I'm half, you know, I got a little bit of shrooms in me already. I fasted like requested, which you always should do when you take shrooms.
Yes. Yeah.
But I'm just ready to go, you know? And then we just leave the main entrance. Don't even go in, you know? He just gives me, you know, we get a wristband and they're waiting for me for a little couple feet back and stuff like that. And then we just start walking on the street, you know, like the main road. And we're just walking, and then they're slowly like kind of showing me different things of the different plants and medicinal purposes and stuff
Yeah,
like
cool.
that, which was awesome. You
Yeah,
know?
it is.
Yeah, so they're just, you know, teaching me stuff, you know. And then we just, all of a sudden, we just go off a beaten path. And I'm just like, okay. And then we just start walking in the jungle. I'm like, this is crazy, you know?
Yeah.
And
He had like,
yeah.
you didn't take the traditional tour.
No, not at all.
Literally,
It was
the,
just-
the behind the scenes
Yeah,
tour.
it was him, his son, and we just going in, you know. And I mean, like, there's one part we go in as soon as, you know, like a couple minutes inside the jungle, and he's just kind of like, there's this, I forget, like this ball, you know, this ball of termites, like this nest of termites, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he was just pretty much like, he was like, put your hand on it. And I was like, all right. And he's like, all right, put it. And he did it with me and stuff like that. He kind of showed me the way. But all these termites just crawl, like all covered on your hand, you know? And he just like, now he used to like go ahead and smash them up. And I was like, okay, just following directions. He's like, smash them up and like spread them all over, you know, all over yourself.
Good for
you know?
bugs.
Exactly.
Bug
He's
spray.
like, this is mosquito repellent, so you don't need it. you know?
Shut your mouth.
Yeah. And I was like, that's amazing, you know. So
There's your outdoor nature store.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
But
So
we need to
everything in
make
the
it with all these
yeah,
chemicals and
right.
let's have it,
Everything
you know.
in the jungle is provided. Everything you need is in the
D12.
jungle.
That's
Yeah.
serious.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, it's just a funny example of it.
Yeah,
Like,
so it's all natural. It's all, you know, that kind
be
of thing.
free.
Yeah. So he was telling me, because I'm a tattoo artist, I was telling him that. He was telling me how traditionally how they got the tattoo needles, you know, from some of the spike trees that's there, you know.
Okay.
You can use the needles,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
for tattoo.
Sure.
You know, that kind of thing. And then he was just kind of really like, they were just, both of them just giving me a tour of the jungle.
How old
you know?
how old is the duo?
So
Just to kind of get a perspective on where they're coming from.
The guy that I ran into, the dad or whatever, he his name is God, I think is I think his name is Shell. I want to say, if I'm saying that right, Shell. But he was about, I want to say maybe. Everybody kind of looks young down there.
Sure.
So it's kind of hard to, you know.
So he might have looked like 40, but he could have been
Yeah,
55, 60.
He looked like he was maybe like 50, but he could have been like 60. 70.
that's right,
I don't know. And then his son, which was a picture up there. His son,
Okay.
his son
He's probably
is he's a little bit. He's like maybe a couple, like maybe 30.
20s, 30s.
Yeah, and he
Late
doesn't,
20s,
you
early
know.
30s.
He
Yeah.
looks really young.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
That's
but he
what I'm
could
saying.
be 45 too.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm
So-
telling
Yeah.
that's so funny because I'm trying to figure out
Yeah.
how both of them are kind of giving you these pieces, and
Yeah.
that's so cool to see that generationally. These both,
Yeah.
they're like, hey, you know what?
Yeah, and
we'll take you on the
and
tour.
they were so kind and so, you know, because I go off of vibes and they had
Yeah.
a really good vibe, so that's why I kind of went with it, really
Right.
checking the vibe.
Yeah,
But they were
man.
just
So
so,
glad that worked
educational.
out.
Yeah, it was beautiful.
So
It was
wow.
beautiful. And the son, you know, he took me to different like this one. He took me to different caverns, kind of saying like this is
Underworld.
some of the homes, you know, that kind of thing. Yeah, the underworld, you know, this is kind of some of the ruins that, you know, and it was crazy because of course, you know, tripping, just walking around. I'm trying to like hold my shit together without like, these are two strangers, you know, I'm trying
Yeah.
to not like Bert, you know.
This was the part
Are we
that I was
talking
going to
about
say
like
would be
a
the hardest
heroic
thing.
dose, or are we talking about like?
You know what? I don't know. I want to say it was heavy. That's all I got to
Wow. Okay.
say. It was heavy.
Like the type where you're gonna actually, you'd rather not rather, but usually in a setting where it'd be like a few people around a fire at a cabin.
Maybe a little more stationary than hiking through an unknown jungle.
This is definitely like, oh shit, I got to sit down. You
Yeah.
know, that
It's
kind
like,
of thing.
Well, you can't walk
Right.
when you're
Yeah. This is
you
definitely,
can't sit in the jungle.
well, at a
Yeah.
13.
You don't.
Yeah.
You don't sit in the jungle much. You
Yeah.
don't want to
Oh.
sit on things.
Yeah, but that was the thing.
You're moving.
So going through this, I'm like, you know, trying to hold my stuff together, my composure, you know, just really like not freak out because I don't
Breathe.
freak out, but just really like
Yeah.
it's not bugging me, like I'm cool, but you're not, mentally
Yeah.
you're like,
Yeah,
and
you're
that,
barely
yeah,
holding on.
yeah,
Like, it's not
exactly.
bugging
So
me.
it gets to the point where like, Spanish and English, it's out the door, it's nowhere, and all I can do is just like, yeah, that's all I can do, because
Yeah.
you just get to a point of your
Yeah.
your damn trip,
Yeah.
but still just going in.
I've seen
And
communication breakdowns.
yeah, and it just going in and just running into different, it was wild.
amazing.
It was wild. But there gets to a point where, like, I think the biggest part, and this is the biggest part of the trip, he kind of gave me a heads up on this. He's like, we're going to go through like like a cave, with a stream going through it, that kind of thing. So he told me about that. But here I am tripping. And he's like, go ahead, let's go through this damn dark
No
ass
big
cave.
deal.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, in the dark. And I'm going in there, and
I don't know.
there's like, and nobody
I don't know
probably,
if I could
right,
do that
right, right.
sober, bro.
Right. Nobody probably would, but there's this cave. I mean, it's really like, over your head, really close to your head.
Yeah.
And I'm already short. So it's like, bam. And we're just really climbing in this dark cavern, and there's damn bats on the side. And he's, the young guy, he's like tickling him, like tickle, pet him, I'm like, bro, this is, and then
so
walking in, there's a damn, giant ass spider. Like giant ass spider on the rock, and he's just like, he just turns around to me. He's like, "Yeah, don't step on that." I'm like, just so I'm barefoot too, so walking barefoot in the dark and down this little like water, and not to step on spiders or hit a bat, And
Sounds like
who knows what else?
entire season of Survivor in one day.
Yeah, it was. Yeah. So and then so walked out of there in the dark, and I got to a point. I don't know if it was overwhelmed with so much emotions. I just started laughing. I was just like, this shit is crazy.
right. What else can you do at that
Right.
point?
Because it was
Just
just like,
laugh, let it all
Right.
go. It was probably a release.
it was just like,
start
oh my,
losing it.
like
Yeah.
what the fuck am I doing?
What did
Yeah.
your guides think?
It was, we all started laughing.
That's great.
Yeah,
That's great.
Because he's all leading the way, and I'm like
great.
telling him like, I can't see in the dark. You got to put the light on behind you. He has ahead of him. You know what I'm saying? But I'm walking
don't
right
have-
behind
you don't
him.
have
You
your
didn't
own
have a
head-
Yeah,
headlamp?
no. So I'm right
You
behind
didn't bring a
him.
headlamp?
that's-
No, I mean, no, not at all. I mean, I'm just.
He didn't know he was going to end up in
Yeah, I
a
didn't know I was
cave
going to do
with
this.
bats,
Yeah,
tripping balls.
Hey, hold on. In retrospect,
Yeah.
I feel like I failed you as a friend or an associate in
Yeah.
life by not recommending giving you or purchasing
Yeah.
you a headlamp and stuffing that in your bag, because bar
Never-
none, when I
Yeah.
go anywhere, that's what
Yeah.
is in my bag.
yeah. Well,
Headlamp.
yeah, definitely note to self
Eternally.
for sure.
Yes.
For sure, definitely from now on. That's for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I mean, going through this, and then we get exit out, and it was really like that's when everything starts to kick in. And then all of a sudden, we're at this like this pool, this pool where like the Mayans would bathe or whatever, I can't
Mineral
explain it.
spring.
Yeah, like this spot, and that's when everything
Coming up out of the ground?
no, it's
Or is
it's,
it a waterfall
literally
into it?
literally looks like a pool, like a abandoned pool.
How does the water get in there?
It's just I mean
Cenotes,
it's just an old
comes from the rock.
it's an old
the ground.
yeah.
It's an
Yeah.
underground
That's what I'm
stream.
saying. It seeps up through it. And
I have
somehow-
no idea.
Okay,
Yeah.
I just wondered
Yeah.
if there was a waterfall or
Yeah.
anything, or how it feels.
It was hard for me to put everything together. That's for sure. At that moment, that's for sure.
not
So
analyzing.
I'm not really analyzing like
Yeah.
what is. I'm just there.
The
you know?
You're like,
rocks are
excuse
melting.
me,
Yeah.
is that a
Oh, yeah.
cenote?
Yeah. Right. No.
What's the technical term for this?
Right. Like, right. So just sitting there, all of a sudden, just going at it, just going.
This is so good, man.
Right. Just going at it, it starts to kick in. But I guess on the real tip, I started feeling things in the sense of the connection of that place and how powerful it really is, because I
Started to kind of turn on.
and I'll be honest, I don't care to share this, but shrooms are my thing, and I know what shrooms do,
Right.
and how to work with them.
Sure.
So being there was definitely a whole different thing
bet.
I've ever been with, and it was just very with vibration, very big on
Coursing through
vibration,
you,
just
yeah.
like hardcore, and realizing that. So as soon as we start moving on, taking little breaks, that's for sure, because I was like I gotta stop.
Right.
This is too much, I just gotta sit down for just a second, give me a breath. But as we were going on, we get to this tree, and that's when I was like, I was really into it. And I'm trying to like hold my stuff together, but then I said, fuck it, whatever. But in the same time, like, these guys they're so good people that they were just like waiting on me, They're
Yeah.
so, they're
I
so
mean, I'm
kind.
sure they
Yeah.
understood.
Yeah,
care
exactly.
of you.
Exactly. Just like, we know you're doing your
They
thing.
could see it in your
Yeah,
eye
exactly.
too.
Yeah.
They've
I
been,
mean, they know. I mean,
Yeah.
you just gave the dude a whole bunch of shrooms. I mean,
Yeah.
they know that they're going to be going through some things,
Yeah.
And I gotta just a real quick pause.
Yeah.
I gotta also think that they don't suggest this for every Tom, Dick, and Harry that comes by.
Oh, right. This is
They're not like, hey, you want to go on this
Yeah,
tour? Hey,
exactly.
you want to go on this
It's
tour?
not on the
He
pamphlet. or
talked
anything.
That's
to
what
him
you're
for-
saying.
How long did you talk to him before he brought up, hey, I do these mushroom tours? He probably had to.
Was it a
It-
while
it-
before he went that route and
No,
suggested that, or did
honestly,
he kind of just?
it was just
connect?
it's really about vibe and connection.
Okay.
I mean, we really like straight up like click,
Right,
click.
because that's what it seems
Yeah.
like from all of
Yeah.
this is like they are like these stewards that are like just
Yeah,
waiting for
everything-
people that are looking for these experiences,
Yeah.
and they're like,
And by the way,
because they can see it.
By the way, let me just say one quick thing. The earliest people that were studying mushrooms and bringing them up from Mexico, all the beat writers and Schulte, they were all in
Leary,
Mexico.
Right,
Ram Dass.
right.
All those
Right. They
got 'em
guys
from
were coming
Mexico.
to Mexico.
Yeah.
In
Exactly.
Oaxaca.
Yeah.
And Balam is the first site I went to was all centered to psychedelics. You know what I'm saying? That was a whole thing that was all about.
Yeah.
So it was a whole awakening to the whole thing of like the journey of what I do in my own personal thing, that it was all connected.
And you think
So
Ekbalam is connected to Palenque?
oh yeah, I think it's all different stages of finding it. It sounds weird. I think it's different stages of Kukulkan and his journey and finding the perfect place to put this thing which we call Palenque. You know what I'm saying? Because it's different from all the other sites, and I feel like it's literally like it's different chapters or different like journeys to find the perfect place for time itself. So
Did you see the Palenque like relief, the carving, like Did you go see that? Is
I
that
did. That
display?
was
Rocket
late.
ship. It's in a
Okay, sorry.
museum.
That was
Okay.
later. Yeah, that was
Okay.
definitely later. That's for
Okay,
sure.
sorry.
So I guess going back to the journey or whatever, going on this damn trip, I get to this tree, and I'm so glad everything organically happened for a reason this way. But anyway, I was tripping hardcore, collecting myself and noticing this tree, like I got really connected with it, and there was just waiting, and literally I took off my shoes and just like went, and it was a humongous tree, I just went in it and just kind of like just sat in it, and I just felt, sounds crazy or whatever, but I felt like I'm in the womb, like in the womb of the mother, and it just, it really talked to me, and it's all about literally I felt like this intense vibrational frequency that was just that was really like going through me, and I felt bad because I stopped it because I was with people, and I was like, I can't go too deep, because I can go deep, but in my own space. Now I have two other people, so I couldn't so I really put myself together and stopped it. But the frequency was, I've never experienced anything like that before.
Like a tuning fork that got struck.
It was just like a
an
high,
actual
like
sign. You can hear it building
yeah.
up.
Yes, exactly.
What?
Yeah, and then it gets to a point where it just gets so high, and I'm like, oh shit, I'm controlling this. I'm doing my whole mantras and stuff like that, but I'm really
You were
controlling.
chanting.
Yeah, I'm really going into this.
Yeah.
Until a point like, oh crap, how far? I can't go too far. I need to stop.
I
But
feel like you're gonna open up a portal.
I'm just.
or
I feel like
something's gonna happen.
honestly, I felt like I was gonna pop.
Yeah,
just,
yeah.
like
Just,
yeah,
like Stimpy.
yeah. Just,
When
like a
Stimpy
little
just
bubble pop.
completely, Ren
Yeah.
completely implodes when they
Yeah.
push the big red
like I
button.
was just gonna pop.
Yeah.
God
I mean,
dang it.
seriously, it gets to that point. You're just like, oh my God. But I'm glad it happened this way because as the journey kind of went on and we get to the point at the end, he says like, hey, this is our stop, and I did not expect, I didn't know what was going to happen, but he's like, this is our stop. This is where we part ways. You know what I'm saying? So here you are, go forward and do your thing. I was like, go forward what? Now I'm at the site. I'm at the site of Palenque.
What?
And
So that whole time you weren't even
I
at the site.
no, I wasn't at the site. It was on the side, like the side, and then I go to all through the journey, and then I get to
I was about to say, I love how they set it
That's
up because it gives you this like
incredible,
by the time you're getting into it,
yeah.
you're
I'm
like,
all,
oh, I
boom.
discovered this. I've
Right.
gone through this work to
Right.
get here.
It's a process.
Exactly,
Yeah.
and that made me realize what
What they were
the
doing.
the
They were
facts-
doing that in ancient times.
Exactly. That really made me realize the connection what the Mayas had. Like it's not what Mayas, but where is the inspiration? Where is it coming from? You know, and it's coming from the jungle. It's coming from the land. It's coming from Pachamama. You know, it's really
Pachamama.
it is life is death and death is life. That's like the pure makeup of it. And now it's just like this is what it was weird because this is what we went through the jungle and now this is what we put together, which is Palenque from the inspiration of vibrations and all that and frequencies and
Bringing it into
Right.
existence.
exactly.
Now
And,
we've talked about a lot of
Yeah.
this stuff over the years, a little bit, you
Yeah.
and I, but it recently here on this show, you know,
Yeah.
having Mel on talking
Yeah.
about sound therapy and frequencies, and then Adam Russell having him on talking about, you know, building pyramids and on land and you know, regenerating things through these vibrational frequencies and
Tuning back in.
and it's just really wild that that's kind of all has been popping up in our world lately.
Oh yeah.
People are taking the blinders off, unboxing them.
Sound, dude.
Yeah.
Sound is such a
sound is
mystery.
everything.
Yes.
Sound is everything. That's why I feel like I discovered for myself or whatever realization like sound is everything.
Yeah.
It's really everything. The frequencies that
What do
I
you want to
heard,
be tuned into?
Yeah,
Do you want to be
it-
tuned
right.
into like
It's all about
negative
tuning in.
bullshit? Do you want to
Exactly.
be tuned into higher frequencies where you're
What-
resonating with this higher
right.
force?
What is the soundtrack of your life? You know what I'm saying? What do you want it to play? You know, you have
Yeah.
all access to push the play button, you know? But it's a realization like after low key, like kind of coming off or still on it, whatever you want to call it, being in the site of Palenque, that was the awe moment of everything. It was just realization like this is it. This is the hub. This is the heart. This is where I don't know, whatever you want to call Kukulkan, like this is the spot. This is where time and time itself is one, and there's different dimensional situations happening in the same time. It felt the best way I can explain it is like I felt like I was in a Zelda game, and it was just amazing.
Oh,
Yeah, I know, right?
it's a great metaphor.
It felt like a Zelda game. It was magical. I
Yeah.
mean, I'm not really trying to like burp all of it, but
Yeah.
like you go in there, and I think it's the time of day or whatever, and it's just not the shroom, but
What time of day were you there?
it was at morning time. I started in the jungle like super early, like like 7, 8 o'clock.
Wait. What time
And-
did you start eating these things? In the
7,
morning?
8 o'clock. You know,
7,
yeah.
8 o'clock.
Yeah, 7, 8 o'clock in the morning. Just it's
Right
my
away.
breakfast. You know, but
Omelet.
you know exactly my
And you're
Wheaties.
fasting, so you have no
Yeah,
food.
exactly.
That's why you're tripping so hard.
Yeah.
Well, and not only
exactly.
that, but you're super clean.
Yeah.
That vegan diet,
You're eating
like
very-
your body is
Right. So it just
an engine.
Well, you were
Exactly.
tuned in. Your body was probably already at that frequency.
Yeah.
And when you were underground, that frequency was coming into that, and you were resonating with it. And you heard the resonant sound.
right. So I mean, carrying that into the site, I definitely was tuning into what was there and what that was home for me. That's definitely the place I'm like, this is it all. This is all of it right
That's
here.
cool.
But like I was saying, like the Zelda game, going there, magical, beautiful. Like you see all these like thousands of butterflies just blah 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 blah, and then you looking up the skies, and I've never seen so many, but just dragonflies just all over, and all this stuff is like inspiration from that's where they were getting all their inspiration, is life itself.
Yeah.
They're
Sure.
you can see in the artwork, which
Yeah.
I love so much, and then it's just like it's crazy. It's covered and it's surrounded by a jungle that's just hugging it. That doesn't look real, it looks Photoshop, with this like sky drop, of this clouds, just, it was amazing. It was like the most beautiful thing I've ever seen.
Well, and it's hard. I mean, shit, man, it's hard for people to conceive of the mountain pictures here. It's really hard if you've never gone to something like this or gone to a spot. Especially, I've not really been in somewhere like that, even where it's just kind of like you're mentioning with the jungle growing around it, like that. Maybe
Behind the scenes tour.
Yeah, to where it's like this feels like a movie because that's where we see things like that. We haven't preserved it well here in Ohio. We've documented and talked about that in the show about how we did have mounds and if we'd done a good job, but like some of these places where it's like there's not a city around it and it's in this remote. I don't know that we have anything like that in the U.S. to even compare to. So when you do get there, it is very much like awestruck.
Exactly, and that place is it's definitely like a city of magic. That's for sure. It's really out of all the sites, and it's not a very big site, but at the same, it's really, really you can just feel
Holds
it.
a lot of energy.
It's just amazing, and now it makes I have a better understanding of the culture of the art more than anything that inspired me so much in my own artwork.
Right.
Now I get it. I know where it's coming from. You know,
it's been influenced in your art for years.
Yeah.
I mean, it's you definitely pull style from inspiration for sure. I just can't wait to see, the already it's already influenced your art now. You know what I mean? I can't wait to see some of the future projects that you got coming out of this trip, like how we'll start seeing that influence.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah,
I'm
definitely excited. Yeah, I'm excited to make some things. That's what I'm looking forward to.
We all are.
Yeah, I'm super excited. But yeah, that's that site, and then the other sites were just confirmations and really getting a grasp of what was,
right,
for sure. Yeah, that's for sure. Yeah,
that sounds like an amazing adventure.
Yeah,
like
man.
Again, you
put
went
that on the list.
Hog,
put that on the list.
You dove head.
There's no way I could plan that.
Well, the weird thing is that I don't even remember what it was from, but I was listening to a podcast or I watched a documentary and they talked about Palenque and how magical and unbelievable that place was. And I think I sent you the link to the podcast, whatever I was listening to. I was like, hey, you might want to add this on your list. I always kind of knew a little bit I'd never heard that much about it before until really recently. I was like, yeah, it could be on your list. So I was really looking forward to seeing what experience came out of Palenque, because for me it felt like that was going to be a spot, one of the cooler places if you ended up getting there. That's really cool.
Yeah, so it was just really amazing to see all the pictures come to life, that I've seen in my through the journey,
Sure.
Just like, oh shit, this is it. Like, that kind of thing, to see it in person.
Up close.
Isn't that wild?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it's
amazing.
Definitely a different experience for sure.
Yeah, like at Chichen Itza when you see the big dragon heads, the serpents at the bottom of the pyramid, and you're like, that's the equinox, the serpent slithering down the side with all the shadow play, like and then you're standing there going, wow, that's the serpent head.
Right.
It's weird.
That's why I have a tough time like trying to even like wrap my head around the size of the pyramids. Like being next to them, like it's really
the Temple of Kukulkan's big.
Yeah,
it's big, and I don't know if it compares to Palenque, if those are a bit smaller, like the size of some of the smaller ones at Chichen Itza.
Yeah.
But there's one big one. How many decent sized pyramids there are at Palenque?
I mean, there's a couple. I said a handful.
Yeah.
It's more like it's a handful. Not not as big as Uxmal and all that, but it's still big enough. But yeah, Chichen Itza is pretty big. It's pretty big. That's for sure.
Definitely on the list. I've not been there. I need to get down, do that.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
I might have to ask you some tips. I don't know if I can do the 7 a.m. wake and go through the jungle venture. I don't know that.
But you get used to it. I mean, you get to the city of like, what are you going to do? For me, what am I going to do after 11 o'clock or whatever? Just go to bed and wake up early kind of situation.
No. I mean the the Palenque through the cave
7 a.m.
tunnel,
trip.
heroic dose, you know, and a bagel.
What else you gonna do? You know,
Heroic dose and some chorizo.
Yeah.
Like, let's
But
go.
you know what? You put that out there. Like, that's something, a part of that
Yeah.
you weren't forcing. You weren't.
No.
It's like, but hey, if it happens,
You kind of
it'd
had
be
that
really great.
intention. Of
Yeah,
maybe,
the
or-
manifestation was
Yeah.
definitely there. Like I was thinking before the trip, I would like to. That would be awesome because I heard stories like, oh,
Sure.
in
Yeah.
Oaxaca, you should like
Sure.
the shrooms, blah blah blah.
Yeah, we
and I'm
talked
thinking,
about
yeah,
that a little bit.
and I was like, man, I would love
Maria
to.
Sabino.
I'd love to have that happen to me, but it didn't happen, and it didn't happen there, but it happened somewhere
But it
else.
happened in the place it was supposed to happen.
Right, exactly.
At an ancient site.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So
Which was,
he leaves you. I want to pick up there.
Oh yeah,
When he leaves you, and now you're in the site,
yeah.
and you're just blown away.
Yeah. So I'm walking around barefoot, just soaking it all, soaking it all up and stuff like that, and absorbing it all. And now it was just so magical. It was so magical. I took a second to just like sit back and sit on one of the highest pyramids I can get to and just overlook it and just take it all in and just kind of like.
Are there other people there at this time?
Oh yeah,
Are there-
there's people, and then
tourists
I'm sure I'm looking crazy, like,
And you said you didn't have a lot of photos because you
Yeah.
were
yeah,
soaking it all in
Yeah.
and being present,
So you're,
not just
yeah, that's
with the
wild.
camera,
Yeah.
screwing with the
Right.
camera.
Yeah.
And hey, man,
yeah.
you got to
just-
be present during that.
Oh,
if
yeah.
you're sitting there going, "Oh my God, I got to remember
Yeah.
all of this,"
Yeah.
yeah.
then
And
you're not having that
Exactly.
vibrational experience underground. Or
I was like a little
the
kid on the
pool.
playground, just running around, just barefoot, just running all over the pyramids. It was just
feel
it was,
so connected. And
it
you're
felt, it
barefoot.
felt yeah, it was felt amazing. I might look crazy or whatever, and like people are like, everybody's got tour guides and walking slowly.
Probably
trying to
one of
not
the
fall
best
off
things
the
you could have done
pyramids.
was been barefoot at the
Yeah.
sites.
And yeah,
Honestly,
yeah,
because
just
of the
ground yourself into
connectivity
it.
for
Yeah,
it, we
absolutely.
do need that.
Yeah.
I've seen as far as like crazy now. I don't know if it's a crazy gimmick, but shoes that are putting these copper plates
Yeah.
in the shoes,
Yeah,
so that when you're still wearing shoes, your foot can touch the ground and get the Earth's magnetic
Right.
energy up through them. Because there's a lot to that. Like,
right, and that
like
goes
the day I mentioned in
right,
the
and
park
that
when
goes
you're
yeah.
taking a stroll.
Exactly. And that goes back
Right.
to the buildup. Like before I went to my trip, I walked barefoot everywhere in the forest and everywhere. So that really helped build me to be ready to climb all this stuff barefoot,
Yeah.
because a lot of people wouldn't, ouch,
yep, yep.
that kind of situation. But it was just like,
You were ready to go.
yeah, it was, I'm used to this, I can do this kind of situation.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I did all that. I journeyed, I walked through the whole thing, just absorbed the whole thing. But finally, I tried to find my way back because I was like, how am I going to get back? So I had to just have faith in the universe. Everybody's got me, which did. I had like maybe like, $20, US dollars with me. I had no pesos left over or anything. I was like, oh crap, I'm not prepared, but whatever, we're going to get back somehow. But sure enough, I just like, hey, I got $20. Can I just get right back to the city? It's US dollars, but here you go. They're like, yeah, just jump on in. Took me back to the city. And then I refreshed myself up, get some food or whatever. Walk in the park. As I'm walking back to the center park because I'm just going with the vibe, I meet the tour guy. And he's back, on the street or whatever, like just chilling with, his friends or whatever. And we're just like, we have the thing like you made it, that kind of thing. You
That's
made
awesome,
it,
for sure.
and he knew exactly what happened, that kind of vibe. So
Yeah.
he was just like, hey,
That's amazing.
that kind of thing. It was wild. It was wild as hell. I think that's the biggest part of it all,
son.
I'd say it's a big part.
yeah, absolutely. So
That's a huge,
yeah,
huge component to throw on to already a big,
yeah. And that was
task of taking this trip.
yeah, and that was like the it was a full moon, it was
Okay.
a full moon, and it was the 5th day on my trip or something like that. So it was not too far, deep into my journey, but
The stars
Not-
were aligned.
yeah,
Oh
it was
man,
still,
that happened at a great time,
Yeah.
and you carried that experience all the
Yeah.
way into your trip.
exactly. So
For
it was
weeks.
a nice like just breaking the ice and just
Cool.
getting. You already know now. You know where everything comes from.
Yeah.
And how everything's lined up. Now go ahead and see more and understand it.
Yeah.
And be a part of it.
Kind of primed you.
And appreciate it and understand where it's really coming from. It's just not coming
Amazing.
from a civilization of the past, but it's always comes from
It's still here.
Pachamama. It's always been there.
Absolutely.
It's just connecting to it and the frequency it's giving off.
Right.
you know, and that's
Tuning into it.
exactly. So yeah, it was
Dude,
amazing.
that's
And that was before or after Chichen Itza?
intense.
That was
Before.
that was before Chichen Itza. Yeah.
Okay, wow. So you
Yeah.
got to do that before you went to Chichen Itza.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm
Or-
sorry. I'm sorry.
Okay.
After Chichen Itza. So Chichen Itza was still like,
You were pretty early on your journey.
yeah. It was like I want to say it was literally my third pyramid. I want to say, yeah,
Okay.
yeah, third pyramid.
And you did so much in such a short window. Like right away, you were
Yeah.
hitting it.
You
Yeah.
can cover a lot of ground if you get after it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
He's
exactly.
getting after it.
Yeah, so it was a lot of walking. That's for
But
sure.
this is
Yeah.
this is why I always say that I've gone on a lot of trips.
Mm-hmm.
We don't go on vacations.
right.
That's a trip. Like you might
There's a
get
difference.
a couple hours a day at the end of the day when you're like, yeah, I'm gonna relax and this and that. But man, you got to get up. You're moving a lot. You're going
Yeah.
from place to place. Like we kind of have a rule in place now when we travel because I'm like, I am getting older. Like I do get tired of waking up, moving luggage because we're not. I mean, I still backpack all my stuff. Sometimes my wife would bring luggage, but 2 or 3 nights. Like
Yeah.
I got to be there at least 2 or 3 nights to make it worth my time to pick up and go. If there's something I want to go see, that's different. But if we're just
Yeah,
like
you can hit a
bouncing
lot
from
of
place
stuff
to
around
place,
one location.
like I kind of want to settle in a little bit more than just. But I get what you're doing. That's a much different vibe as far as what I'm saying. But still, it's not just go to a resort and chill for a
Yeah.
week, which I still want to do that too. Like
Yeah.
I would love to go take some of those trips where I'm just like hang
Yeah.
out
Yeah.
with friends, eat, drink, whatever. But there's a difference between a vacation and going in like,
Exactly.
hey
it's,
man,
it's about being uncomfortable and being nomadic as
it's
possible.
work.
Yeah, it's just really, but just living off of it, with no complaints.
Yeah.
Just going with it.
But it also kind of feeds that need
yeah,
of that kind of life. It's kind of like going camping. When I used to always tell people like, I love camping. They'd be like, why? Because when I come home from camping, my house is nicer than when I went camping.
yeah.
Like
Yeah,
I
definitely
appreciate all the
connected.
things about my home. Like when you go on these trips, you got to get out of your comfort zone, and then you can appreciate different things about where you're at in that culture or what you appreciate about back home and vice versa. It's just having that comparison and contrast that if you don't ever get it, you don't know there is anything to compare it to.
Mm-hmm.
And what's the longest you stayed in one place?
That's a good question. I think I was in Oaxaca for 5 days.
Oh, wow. Okay.
5 or 4,
Oaxaca.
maybe.
And you're up in the
5, 4
mountains.
days.
That's
Yeah,
beautiful.
something like that. Yeah, Oaxaca is beautiful.
Cool
It's
spot.
like every place has its own thing. I think like Valladolid there's so much love, like what I'm saying, in there, in that place. And then Palenque, there's so much magic, And then Oaxaca, there's so much art, inspirational, it's so artistically amazing,
Really? Okay.
So each one had its own like wow factor, of different situations,
great.
So there's never, other than experience, that one can't top another, that kind of thing. So
It's all giving you
Yeah.
something different.
yeah, exactly.
That's cool.
Exactly.
That's really cool.
This photo of the dancers, where was this taken at?
That's a really
That was
neat
Chichen Itza.
This is at
Yeah.
Chichen Itza?
Yeah, just ran into these guys right before I tried to jump on a Collectivo. I was like, oh shoot, I got 5 minutes to jump on this Collectivo, catch this Collectivo, and I saw them, and I was just connecting with them. I was like, oh, blah 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 blah, and then we just took some quick photos, and then I ran off again,
They're
But,
cool.
yeah.
The artwork and painting on
Yeah.
them, and the feathers and the headdresses, and
Yeah.
it's so.
We
cool.
had a cenote that we swam in after we went to Chichen Itza. We went to a cenote, and you go way down, and it's a pool of water, and there's a little hole at the top, and they built this runway where the Mayan
Yeah, it's right.
dancers were in the center of the body of water dancing,
Yeah.
chanting underneath a cave, and it was reverberating, and it sounded so amazing,
Yeah.
dude.
See, that's the thing too. I mean,
So cool.
this trip was like, it's more of a spiritual journey, a lot of like, educational situation.
Yeah.
But it wasn't like a vacation. Like I definitely I am going to go back, but I would definitely do the cenotes and stuff like that because I put all that stuff to the side and
Sure.
focused on what my main goal was, you
Right.
know?
Right.
So it wasn't really about, I mean, of course, a relaxation, but it wasn't too much focus on that. I had a mission to do.
Yeah.
So, but I'd definitely go back and check out cenotes. That's what, because I didn't do any. And I would love to.
It's just neat. It's the water's so
Yeah.
blue and
Yeah.
beautiful. You feel like you're in just like a movie.
Yeah.
It's just a unique kind of an experience. But it's and again, some of those that you get a good spot. There's the cenotes that nobody knows about.
Oh,
Right.
yeah.
There's
Right.
they're everywhere.
Yep.
And you can get a local guide to just, hey, take us out to where you and your family go.
Yeah. I'll have the drivers or whatever just telling me like, that's a spot right there, and I'm just like, oh, note to self, you know. They're just like, that's the one you want to go to, you know. They'll just kind of point them out as you're trying to travel to these pyramids, and they're really mostly close to the pyramids too, you know.
Yeah, they are.
So
they're water sources.
Yeah, exactly, you know. But yeah, it's amazing how much we don't give credit to that civilization and how in tune and how, you know, it's just crazy. It's just crazy, you know, on what they did and how everything was constructed.
Right.
Know? It's just amazing.
And it's just getting slowly forgotten if, you know, people don't kind of go down there and keep infusing that history. And that's why it's so cool with that, hearing that Mayan, you know, language being passed down and just.
Yeah, it is neat.
It's
fantastic.
It's still staying alive. I do worry about how it's being more touristy, you know, more traction I can't say the word. Yeah. Attracting that, you know. Because of, like when I went there, it's like for instance Palenque, they were building a whole new bus thing or whatever.
That's where
that's
where the elf, the Mexican president said he saw that wood cryptid elf.
Okay.
Yeah, so they're doing like this big, you know, construction, you know, bringing in new whatever, and that kind of like, I hope this doesn't take away the magic, you know. I hope this doesn't take away, you know, where it becomes this, because like Chichen Itza, it's beautiful and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But it's just like overwhelming with like, you know, buy this, you know, blah blah blah, tours, you know, that kind of thing.
They have
you know?
just like markets on end, or
just,
there's a whole when you go to the observatory, the entire walkway
everywhere
to the observatory is vendors on every side of you.
Yeah.
And a lot of them are local artists. They're local, you know, for sure. There's a lot of local art. Most of them are local artists out there. So when you're buying art from them, you are helping out the community.
Sure.
But it's crazy how much stuff is for sale.
Yeah, exactly.
Like we got a sun gazing stone. I don't know if you've seen those, where it's obsidian polished and you can look at solar eclipses through the stone. It just filters it so much. But they're Mayan sun gazing stones.
That's really cool.
But we bought one of those. It was just like, so I actually watched an eclipse through that thing once.
Yeah. So I just hope it doesn't get too crazy, and because there was a lot of construction there to make it more modern and whatnot. This, you know, because you're taking away from the land too. It's already there. So you're building all these highways and all these new, you know, transportation situations. So. That's kind of like
you got there at the right time, brother.
Yeah, but I mean, same time, I wish I got there sooner too. I mean, it all happened for a reason.
Yep.
But like it gets to a point for Teotihuacan, like you can't climb it no more. There's sites where you just cannot climb, and it's just like if I
went to Chichen Itza in 2012, and you couldn't climb it then. But my buddy Paul Verini went in like 09 or 08, and you could climb all the way up to the top at Chichen Itza.
Exactly.
And even Ancient Aliens did it. Ancient Aliens brought a ton of attention to a lot of the big Mayan sites in the History Channel. So they've gotten so much. Graham Hancock and those kind of authors and researchers, it's shed so much light that these places just get visited.
And that goes back to like, I'm worried about like some of the sites, like for instance Palenque, you can, you know, climb some of the pyramids, but what if it gets too populated? They're going to be like, well, you can't climb that either.
Eventually you won't be able to.
Yeah, that kind of thing. So that's kind of the sad thing.
Yep.
So yeah,
it's one of those in the face of preservation versus that. Hopefully they preserve it, you know, rather than going just, I don't know. It's kind of one of those. Yeah, again, sometimes we just need to save ourselves from ourselves of wrecking things, or and not just that, but like saying with that train coming and trying to preserve the overall. I don't know how I feel about a train leading you right up to the, you know.
Right.
I don't know. I just feel like there should be some work to get there. Yeah, there's, you know,
there's buses that just never ending. They're coming in all day long.
Yeah, exactly.
Just, I mean, there's a whole giant parking lot and system to get the buses in and out. And at Chichen Itza, they built that big highway, which that's what's vibrating the one side of it. It's falling apart because the highway's on that side. So
really?
The side of the pyramid that everybody like claps and you hear the sound come back, that side's pristine. The other side, nobody hangs out over there. That's the highway side, and it's falling apart.
Dang.
Yeah. So, and I don't know if they've repaired it, but at least when I was there, that's what they were talking about.
Dang.
What are we looking at here?
That's Palma. That's the Jaguar. One of the Jaguar sites. You know,
Wow.
that's for sure. I want to say that's where the king or whatever, you know, the chief, the home, you know, where he stayed. In a sense, and what's cool about that site, they're bringing it back to life. They're going in and fixing it up. So there was people restoring it.
Oh, wow.
When I was there, you know, so I was like, that's really cool.
So it was in rough shape?
Yeah, it's still in the process of them renovating or whatever you want to call it, bringing it back to life. So that was really cool to see that they were actually trying to preserve it and bring it to what it used to, you know, closest can look like, you know. So yeah,
This is pretty much the
yeah,
first.
and that's the pyramid, and you can go. This is the one that you can go all the way up to top, and that's where you just kind of go on the top and let the wind kind of, you know, and just meditate up there, you know. So yeah, it was
cool.
amazing. So all those little hood spots, the roofs are where like a lot of the art, you know, the glyphs and stuff like that, where they're trying to restore it and, you know, bring it back
The
to
red
life.
ochre paintings.
Yeah, because on the left top is the tomb, you know.
Okay.
And the artwork on there is just wow.
Pretty
you
wild.
know, it's just it's crazy. It's crazy. So I can only imagine in its prime, you know, what all these sites would look like.
Magical.
You
They're
know.
just gleaming with
Yeah.
color, and
Exactly.
the limestone is so brilliant.
Yeah.
It was probably all
Right.
polished and stuff too.
Exactly. And that's the tomb, you know. Just seeing all that
Get out.
yeah, just seeing all that detail, like just like wow.
Carving
I love the big-
masterpiece.
Yeah. It's
You know,
it's a giant
Texture
mouth.
around the
It's a giant
absolutely.
mouth.
The texturing
yeah.
around the doorway to make it look
It
like
was
that.
the Jaguar, you know.
This is
Giant
crazy.
mouth. Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah. And people
Renovating
on
it. Wow.
Yeah. So I thought that was just wow itself, you know.
Detail in
Mm-hmm.
that.
Yep. Just seeing all in person was really breathtaking, you know, just being
There
in
you
the
go.
presence
That's
of it.
a little bit different angle. You can kind of see it from
Just
straight
climbing
on.
all the way up to the top.
Oh wow.
So
That's awesome.
I mean, that's like what, 70 feet high?
It's up there.
oh, yeah, it is up there.
I would say
It's
that's
up there.
probably a good estimate.
Definitely overlooks everything. That's for sure.
I mean, count how many steps, and each step probably rises 8 to 12 inches, and
Yeah.
they're pretty decent sized stairs, aren't they? They're not like like low
Oh, yeah.
rises, right? Like
Yeah.
it's a good hike to each step.
Yeah, exactly.
So you
It's,
probably-
it's a little climb.
Yeah.
Little climbs.
Wow.
Yeah.
This is Chichen Itza.
Yeah.
Look at the
it's
outline of
just-
that.
Temple of Kukulkan.
Yeah.
Those scales
Mm-hmm.
down the side. Jeez,
It's that sun right above it.
Mm-hmm. It's early in the day.
That's a great
sure.
picture.
Yeah. So yeah, so seeing this in
There it is.
person, yeah, seeing
were
this
talking
in
about
person
this.
is just breathtaking.
Pretty,
you know?
stupendous, man.
Yeah, absolutely, and just hearing because I kind of tapped into the tour guide since I didn't get a tour guide. I was just tapping into some, you know, what they were kind of
Listening
saying.
in a
Yeah,
little bit.
exactly.
Yeah.
It was really amazing. You know,
Mm-hmm.
made a lot of sense.
Yeah, they're very open-minded in Mexico
Mm-hmm.
with their discoveries, and they don't impede research.
Mm.
Like we get, there's a lot of arguing and fighting,
Mm-hmm.
and in Mexico it's kind of a lot simpler and easier to get data about like what's
Mm-hmm.
actually is going on.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's
That's Uxmal.
this is a different site.
Mm-hmm.
That's an interesting. It looks like a conical mound,
Yeah,
but stone.
exactly.
Now let me
yeah.
ask you. Let me ask you a question. When you were down there, did you? I know you and I had. You know, we really connected over Serpent Mound. And,
Yeah.
And I've been there with you. God, I don't know how many times now.
Mm.
And you know, we've experienced some pretty amazing energies at that place. Is there any connection or anything you felt that was similar, or anything you felt to Serpent Mound and what's going on here in Ohio?
It's all connected. Everything is connected. Everything, the serpent, everything. It was all in front of me. You know, that's
Yeah.
for sure. That's definitely associated with with Serpent Mound, with India, and also just Egyptian.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Oh, yeah.
You know, it's all connected. All the
Right.
symbols, all the, you know, I mean, the snake. The snake is I mean, you know, the Kukulkan, all that, it's all integrated. It all has to do, tied it around the Kundalini, being the master of your own self and becoming the highest of yourself. I mean, I think that's a lot of it. What it's speaking is like
Right.
we're at the point of civilization. We're all at the walking in our highest selves, masters of our own selves. You know, there's no you know, like we are now. You know, there's
Right.
really like understanding awareness of their own existence.
In order to create something that
Yeah,
incredible,
exactly.
you can't be
There's no way.
infighting over
Yeah.
little things and
Right.
making bipartisan decisions. You know, in
yeah.
this kind of creative government system.
Yeah, not
These
creating-
people
yeah.
were working together. They had
Exactly.
to. They had to.
Not doing for shits and
egos
giggles,
set
that's for sure.
aside. They were creating a super advanced,
But
focusing on
right, but
astronomy, mathematics.
and honoring what is, you know, that's the biggest thing, is just giving homage to what is, which is life and death. That's what everything is surrounded, you know, and that's the symbols of the jaguar and the, you know, everything. It's
the
just
journey
all
of the soul.
journey of the soul, and I think that's what low key what the Serpent Mountain is the journey to understand the map of where you begin and where you have to find yourself into this, trying to master, like I said, master yourself and be the highest self you can possibly be. The higher self is where which is happiness in a sense.
Kind of like a system or
Yeah.
a machine to
Yeah,
help you evolve.
exactly.
In a way.
It is a machine for sure. I personally think that it is a machine to help. You know, it's about the journey. It's about, like, that's what even the pyramids itself, how they're all laid out. You know, so each
Yeah.
one. So just definitely, each one has its own like different feeling to it, and different. You get a new thing from it. You know. So
It's also meant for a specific thing.
Mm-hmm.
Why wouldn't you have a different vibe from each place you go?
Right,
You know,
right.
it's tuned differently.
oh yeah, like this one Uxmal. I think I'm saying it right. Uxmal, and this is I'm trying to figure out where it's at, but it's close to Oaxaca. I completely forget. It's been a little while. But
worries.
anyway, this one was completely different vibe, surrounded by iguanas and stuff like that. But there's so many spiritual situations that happened there.
Yeah.
I wasn't on shrooms, but other things happened.
Yeah.
Which was like, I couldn't believe what was happening. You know, that kind of thing. Different key moments that was happening there, because each one is like, it's a whole sacred, you know, it's a magical place, you know.
Right. When you
Like,
start
it's
getting
amazing,
so
you
many
know.
of them piling up,
Oh,
you're
yeah.
almost like, I feel bad. I need to document these. Just I've had it happen
And then
before.
it
You don't
just
want to forget them.
synchronicities
Yeah,
with
just
people that you're
synchronicities, yes.
meeting, and
Yeah, and that's
You start rolling.
exactly this.
Pile up.
Yeah, this one gave me a lot of like downloads with numbers. You know, like
Okay,
realization.
interesting.
Yeah, because I started, you know, as I sketch, because at each place I try to sketch and take a moment, just like sketch things out. It's kind of like, you know, study. But this one had a lot to do with numbers, you know, like how everything was laid out. I started observing like how it's like always like a 4 and 5 7, you know, like different numbers that they always like, the combinations of numbers, you know. It's not, like I said, it's not for, you know, shits and giggles. They're really doing this for a reason.
oh
Right.
yeah,
It's really a connection for a reason. It's, you know, it's
we
a formula.
haven't even
Yeah.
scratched the surface and understanding
No.
what the hell they were doing.
Yeah, it's just everything about it. The honoring of the owl, you know, things like that, you know. So I mean, it makes all sense, you know. So it's all tied together. That's for sure. You know, the same symbols and the same animals that are worshipped or whatever are in each of the civilizations, you know, of all around the world, you know,
see what you're
that kind of thing. So the snake, the owl, all that, the cat, whatever, same in Egypt, you know, different places, but still the same. So, yeah, definitely amazing.
And this is a different angle of that same.
Yeah,
that was you inside.
And then the
earlier.
courtyard. Yeah, absolutely.
Look at that construction.
Yeah,
It's just so perfect.
Like, how do you do that with?
How did they do
How
that?
do you do that with? I guess in
Steep
a way.
dome or whatever. I don't know what you call that.
There's a name for it. I can't remember.
Yeah. That's so wild.
Studying just like green.
And even
See these repeating doorways a lot in like Chaco Canyon. They had these
Yeah.
repeating doorways just like this.
The windows of time.
You see these in South America, like up in Machu Picchu, where it's just like doorway into doorway into doorway into doorway.
Because I really think it felt like windows of time, the windows of different dimensions or whatever you want to call it.
Stepping
You
into another
know,
plane
through
each doorway.
And this, and at the same time, is like when they building this, and it's just not like, oh, we're gonna build this, but how they have it integrated with nature and everything else. Because sometimes the water, when it rains, the water will fall down the steps and create like this image, to like show it coming out of the mouth. Like, how do you
Comes alive.
how do you do that? How would you even think of like, oh, I clap my hands and it's gonna make the sound of the kukulkan and
the bird.
yeah. And even then, with like the sound of the pyramids you make with clapping, that carries on to different sites. So it's just not a Chichen Itza thing. It's at the different sites.
Right.
How do you do that?
There's
how would you
always,
keep
some
that
built-in like customization?
Yeah, how do you
Who's going and telling the other guy,
Yeah.
hey, this is how we did it over here, bud.
yeah,
You should try this over here.
yeah.
It's just on a
All
scale that
by-
you can't
Yeah.
even comprehend.
exactly. And it's just amazing. There's no,
I would say the parallel I would draw would be the same way that someone has said that, like, if you showed like your iPhone to somebody from ancient times, it would be magic to them. I think in the
This is
converse
magic
sense,
to me.
Yeah.
we
In
are
this
seeing
remote
magic from
past.
what we call antiquated, and we can't understand it. So the shoe fits on either foot. Bring them a phone, they don't know what to do with it. Shows these pyramids and these constructs and
Yeah.
these sites where we're like, is this a computer chip? Like, what's going on here? It looks like it's
Exactly.
connected. Like,
that.
we don't know how to
When you're
process
tracking,
it.
you're tracking time the way that they were on these like
They're on it.
14,000
Yeah, but
years scalable, these giant cycles of time at like 14 that they're calculating the Earth's wobble
Yeah.
as a calendar. We have the 365 day. They're talking thousands of years they're tracking.
yeah, before the invention of the wheel itself, sometimes
It's so wild.
right?
Like, why were they so obsessed
Yeah.
with these long cycles of time?
Right.
And how is that helping them understand and create this stuff?
Right.
Because, their astronomy and the mathematics and everything, I think once maybe they figured that out, and they got into a place where now they can use all that information. Then how do you all of a sudden start decoding and building those concepts that you're discovering?
Right.
And it's just unbelievable that civilization can get to that level of just where it seems like magic.
Yeah, and I feel like it was a time we think like that was the past. I feel like that was the future. You know what I'm saying? Where it was a whole
Future
a whole-
primitive, like
it was a whole different thing. Like I keep going back to
I-
it, but
I
it's
know
like
what you
the
mean.
Zelda thing.
I know
it's
what you
It's a
mean.
point where it's just like it's there and it's connecting and it's just doing its thing. But then we went through like a whole caveman thing. You know what I'm saying?
Collapse, yeah.
Collapse. So everything shut off and rebuilt. I mean,
Yeah.
we're still climbing out of that.
I felt it feels like it's older than the flood. Like it's
Yes. Oh,
old. It's so ancient
Yeah.
feeling when you walk around these places.
Yeah.
It seems like something came along and shut this
Right.
older civilization
Right.
down.
And my belief is that they're there to last. They put these
Yeah.
giant breadcrumbs
Yeah.
for you to remember.
They're all still
You
there
know what I'm
for us
saying?
to go
Exactly.
and do what you did.
Right. So to remember what was
Mm-hmm.
and what is the truth. You know what I'm saying? To make you really remember, it's the only way that they can connect. I mean, life itself
with
tries
the
to show you,
future.
but like it's really showing you like making you question things,
Yeah.
Like there's a time and a place that things were really on the same frequency of everything. That we're all
Everything was
Yeah.
tuned in.
everything was tuned in without the true politics of what's going on now,
True balance.
Yeah,
True
balance.
equality.
Yeah.
Not even really just a quality. You hear that a lot. Like, we want equality
Yeah.
for everything.
Yeah.
No, you want harmony.
Yeah.
Equality is a really, really hard thing
Mm-hmm.
to achieve you want to live in harmony with each other.
Mhm.
You know, having people having equal rights and those things,
Yeah.
of course, are important.
Yeah, you're still gonna have battles, and
But it's
stuff
just a
too.
different mindset. You know,
Yeah,
the battle for equality. It doesn't seem like it's ever a battle that we win
yeah,
ever as humans. But if somehow you can get to a level of harmony and things start resonating, and the next thing you know, you're building. We've unlocked the pyramid
Right,
technology
right.
again.
exactly.
You know,
And yeah, it's just really in a time where magic was real, you know, actually real. You know, it's not a story. You know, it's not a story time or anything like that, but actually was it coexisting.
yeah. But to
know.
them, it was science.
Yeah,
We perceive it as magic, but it's their advanced science and spirituality, and everything
Yeah.
is kind of one thing instead of materialist science and spirituality. The scientists think, oh, that's woo woo. The spiritual people think, oh, you're too material. You know, there's this other spiritual aspect to the world.
yeah,
But they had both. They brought both together, technology, spirituality, and then you have, you know,
yeah.
that.
Yeah, right, right, exactly. You know, it's. I think it's.
Intricate.
It's more mathematics and spirituality coexisting with one another.
Yep, yep.
You know, than anything. You know, it's all about math. But yeah, it's just
Visually, though, how it almost looks
It
like
looks
it's moving.
like digital.
Right.
Like,
Right.
It looks like it's almost like
Code.
descending down the middle.
doesn't it look like code?
you could have
or like,
you could have done
Yeah.
any, you know, they could have, you know, done anything, you know, whatever, but they went ahead and went and took it this far.
took
You
it
know,
to the,
Oh,
the
yeah.
took it
level
this
of
far.
level.
Oh,
but
yeah.
why? You know, for us to like really to show us, you know,
Maybe
that is
we'll
the-
never know unless, hey, you're the guy that
Yeah.
goes and takes the mushroom tour. Maybe that's the only way that we can
Yeah.
understand these places,
Yeah,
is if you actually have to go there and really connect
Yeah.
with
Yeah, and like the bottom looks like, almost like flames rolling
yeah.
as it's landing down.
Wow, dude,
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Is this
Like-
at the top of one
That's
of the
it.
pyramids?
That's one of the spots in Uxmal, in one of the buildings. You know,
It's really
worshiping.
cool.
I think that's can't see from this distance. I want to say the owl.
Oh, okay.
So I can't. Yeah.
The old owl. How about
Yeah.
that?
Look at that
Right,
iguana.
exactly. Yeah.
Boy, we've had some experiences with owls.
And the iguanas. Yeah, the iguanas are right there. Yeah, they're all over the place.
Iguanas
Oh,
are
yeah.
everywhere.
Everywhere. Everywhere.
They're big too.
Oh, yeah.
They're not afraid
Yeah,
to come
yeah.
up and hang out with you.
Exactly. So I made a friend and stuff like that. A lot of little animal critters I made friends with. That's for sure. Just connecting with it. You know, that's going back to Palenque. That's one of the the ruins that you can. I don't know if you want to go in there, but ruins.
Damn, dude.
You know. So
Looks like Indiana Jones is ready to just
Yeah.
pop out with,
Hmm.
the ancient artifact
yeah,
Crystal skull.
being chased. Yeah.
yeah.
That's
back,
a cool tree.
Yeah, back to Palenque.
I forget what those trees are called. They're
Yeah,
all over the place down there. They're so
Mhm.
neat.
yeah. Absolutely.
They hold so much water in the base of the
Mhm.
roots because, like, the roots can't go down very far into the ground. They have to kind of, all the root systems are all like
Yeah, it's
barely in because it's so
Mhm.
much limestone and
wild.
Yeah. Yeah. And back to Palenque.
This is under. You do see this sometimes where they have things that are gated off.
Yeah, yeah.
Wonder what's back there. I'm always
Yeah.
curious
And
when you see something gated off.
That's the Palenque King. But that's where that tablet would be. Not the tablet, but the
Bacall?
Bacall. Yeah, that's where that would be.
What?
Yeah.
And now it's in a
It's
museum.
in there.
It's
It
in
would be
It's
in there
this-
if it.
Yeah, exactly. That is the tomb.
That's the tomb
That's
of
inside the
Bacall.
pyramid.
That's Lord
Of Palenque.
Palenque.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So
I've watched some shows and YouTubes and documentaries, and I'm not great with all of the details. I just remember thinking like that guy wasn't a human.
No,
Bacall
Yeah.
seemed like he was like almost an extraterrestrial or had some very weird characteristics. Maybe I'm mischaracterizing him, but I remember
rocket ship, motorcycle.
Yeah,
looking
part of it.
thing.
Yeah.
yeah.
Kind of like Akhenaten in Egypt with,
Mhm.
kind of just doesn't fit all the stereotypical Egyptian
Right.
motifs of rulers because Akhenaten represented himself in such a different way. And more natural than
Yeah.
iconic.
He had a big bulbous head too.
Yeah.
He's always wore a
Exactly.
headdress that
Yeah.
But they
covered up his.
crossed him out of most of their history. They
Yeah.
Yeah.
erased
Not
most
because-
of his
yeah.
work.
Yeah, because it definitely. Yeah.
Same with that. Yeah, that's so cool, Carlos.
Yeah. So
That's so cool. What is this?
the same.
Okay.
Yeah. Which was I was
Look
really,
at that.
really amazed that you can go in there and just go inside the actual.
That's the wild part.
Yeah.
Look how crazy the cutout is, though.
I've never
of
been
like the
inside.
quality of the preservation of the dimensions of that doorway
It's
as you're going,
perfect,
and like
bro.
it's just stone.
Mm-hmm.
It's dry. You said earlier it's dry laid stone. It's not mortared. It's not.
Doesn't appear to
It
be.
doesn't.
Looks like all that's fit together,
That's insane.
especially on the inside. You can really see.
Yeah. The trees there are just
That's
magnificent.
pretty
Mhm.
intense right
The
there.
trees are just like the pictures don't do it justice.
The
that's for
branches
sure.
it's putting out are massive,
Yeah, it's just
huge and long.
It's amazing. Yeah.
Yeah, you probably did have some really good weather if you're down there
Oh yeah.
It looks like it's a real green.
recently.
Yeah. Super.
Did it
green.
rain a lot when you were down there?
No, I got the
Good.
time where it wasn't raining a whole bunch.
Nice.
You know, so I
Nice.
got really lucky.
Yeah,
So
the
just-
rainy season can be something.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a lot. It's a lot of rain.
Yeah, so I lucked out on that.
Is that like an observatory here?
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm
No,
gonna go
you
back
good.
one. I went back too far.
Yeah,
That looks like an observatory.
exactly. That's what that is. That's one part I didn't get to go into because it
Yeah.
was blocked off. They were doing the whole renovation of it. You
Good.
know.
Wild.
Maybe next
Yeah,
time
exactly.
it'll be open.
Mhm.
This one. There we go. See, this is cool.
Mhm.
That I just shared a post on Instagram actually of like the before and after.
Mhm.
They line them up. They put the old when someone came across it for the first time, and it looks like just a hill buried, and then the after pictures right below it of. So this one's like half and half.
Mhm.
They haven't cleared the whole thing off. See on the left there.
Right.
For those that are just listening, we're looking at a pyramid that is basically it's everything around it, and all the dirt and debris has been pulled off one side of the pyramid, but the other side is still, what would you say, maybe a quarter left. So that's what it would have looked like. The whole thing would have been covered up like that with all that dirt
Right.
that's
Yeah.
off
They're still
to the
unearthing
left.
it, yeah.
Yeah, so they're still pulling all that back. Could you imagine walking up on this
Right. Exactly.
80 or 100 years ago, or 100 was, I don't know, 150 years ago? I don't know when this started getting uncovered.
Well, I mean, what's open to the site is small, but there's so much more that hasn't been discovered around it. You know, I mean, there's
Right.
even when I was going through the jungle tour, there's still
been
like
covering that.
pyramids there.
Yeah.
You know, that
Oh,
weren't part of the site, but that just tells you like
And
There's
light
a lot
up.
of
it goes
discoveries
on.
to still
It
be made.
Yeah, it's still like it's not like that's it. You know,
Yeah.
there's just so much, like you were saying, it's all covered up and retaken by nature. You know.
Oh yeah, swallowed
They're
whole.
doing a really good job
Yeah.
with it.
Man, that's big tree.
Hmm.
Wow.
You can only imagine how old it is. You know.
Hmm?
So
1,000-year-old tree? Who knows?
right.
They
Yeah,
definitely
that's-
are down there. I mean, I know there's 1,000-year-old trees in Costa Rica that we went and saw, so I wouldn't put it past it. I mean, it's just it's wild to think that, we think of it as an inanimate object, but it's definitely a plant. It's living and it's growing, but like, not that it has eyes, or maybe we don't know if it can see, or who knows. I'm not going to theorize on that too much, but just kind of the presence it's had, if it's been and witnessed, or kind of like through that time, and just kind of the traffic and people and the comings and going. I don't know, just as that kind of like memory holder,
Mhm.
if we could somehow access that,
Exactly. Yeah.
if that energy's imprinted. I don't know.
Yeah. Is this, we're still in
Yeah. Palenque. I
Palenque?
call this the temple. But yeah.
That's
But
a very steep
Mhm.
pyramid, and then at the top you got 1, 2,
Mhm.
3, 4, 5, 6 columns
mhm,
with another roof on top.
right.
So you can just imagine priest up there holding ceremony,
Yeah.
all the people gathered below this thing. I mean, it just had to be such a spectacle when these things were rocking
right.
and rolling, dude.
Exactly. Exactly.
I mean, pilgrims coming from all over,
right.
just a sight to behold.
Yeah. Just can only imagine. And that's the beauty is going through all these sites and seeing what it is now, you know, the ruins, and then getting to, as I went further up the journey into Mexico City, like going to the Anthropology Museum, and then you see it all the things that were there,
Yeah,
you know,
right.
and to see it like
That are
all,
all
you know, that
sitting
have
in
been
a
taken
museum
out
now.
of those
Right.
sites, and to like, oh crap, it gets even deeper.
Oh yeah,
you know,
yeah. We're still. I mean, we're getting like
yeah,
the remnants of the burnt down house. You know, like
Yeah.
oh, there's a scrap of the. You know, really
right.
putting together broken pieces
Yeah,
of
you're
the
getting
shards of a plate or
scraps.
something. You
Right.
know, like, maybe we have all the pieces. I
Right.
doubt we have even close to all
yeah.
the pieces.
You know, and who knows what else is I know they're discovering more. They're discovering more pyramids, but who knows how many more sites are like this itself.
I
you
think
know,
thousands.
you know that could be. This is the only reason is because it's been uncovered. You know,
Yep.
Absolutely,
You know.
absolutely.
Well, we've covered on
Absolutely.
strange happenings in Guatemala,
yeah,
all through Honduras. They're
Oh, the
they're
lidar scanning is
pulling-
going to
Yeah.
reveal a lot, and then
Oh,
it's just getting
Hey,
teams if you
thought
can
this
get
one
into
place
these
had
places.
like 2 million people
Yeah.
living in it. It was
yeah.
a city.
That's definitely like I said, I'm going back. I'm doing baby steps going
Sure.
down.
You're gonna work
But,
your way more south.
So the next trip I'm probably going to start in Palenque and then go down to Guatemala and further south.
Yep.
But the Guatemala is definitely because there's more. I'm very tuned and attracted to Mayan civilization,
Yeah.
so I know there's more of those pyramids in Guatemala.
Yes,
that
there are.
I didn't
Yep.
get to tap
Yep.
into.
We did
Copan.
not go from Belize over to
Yeah.
Guatemala when
Yeah.
we were there, but we did go to like Shinantinich and
Mhm.
did some of those. Saw the ball courts and the pyramids. But yeah, I mean it's wild, and we
Oh,
took a
yeah.
horseback ride to it.
Oh, really?
And when we got to the like one peak, this guy was like, "Oh, there used to be a site here too." We're like, "What do you mean?" He's like, "Oh, there was one here. Like, look at the vantage point." Like, and he's showing like kind of like the broken down pieces of what was there. He's like, "Oh yeah, there was one here too." Like,
Right.
what do you mean? Like,
And not to go back on things, but the beauty of Palenque, why that was kind of my favorite one. I mean, I'm drawn to it in the artwork,
yeah,
but when you go there, they really like take that and put it into the city. Like you'll find all the glyphs and inspiration. It's all around. It'll be all on the gas station. It'll be in the grocery stores.
Wow.
near the
It'll
site
be
in the city.
in the city, away from the site. So all that they're really like keeping it and proud. You know
Good.
what I'm saying? And really
Good.
showing that.
That's
you know?
fantastic.
And it's just that's what I really loved about it. They're just going in odds
Yeah.
and end places. And they're just
Absolutely.
just honoring that, you
Yeah.
know.
Well, having some also
Yeah.
that like
Have you
that
seen those murals on
maintaining.
Cook Road and Indianola and Cook Road? You get on the I-71 exit. They have a whole mural, this exit ramp that's all the Hopewell sites,
Yeah.
Serpent Mounds
Yeah,
on there.
I saw that.
The Newark, which is kind of neat. I
Yeah.
mean, that's the only thing I've ever seen
It's
paid homage to in this
Right.
city.
And that's kind of like not go off at tracks or anything, derail it. But here it's just so sad to see how much we tore all that. They preserved it,
Gone.
but
They
they tore down.
preserved
Like we have this is the mound builders civilization, like the hub. Here in Ohio or whatever, and to like a lot of people don't understand like the capital. That's where like one of the big mounds were. They tore that
Yeah,
down, put
Mound
the
Street.
capital exactly.
Yeah.
Put that and all the mud they used. They put, and that's where you got German village bricks and stuff.
Yeah.
So it all comes
Yeah.
from all the things that they've been tearing down and stuff like
That's
that.
so
But-
wild.
You
But
reuse
there
all
used
the
to be a
materials.
whole
It
civilization
was like
here.
what Mike Luoma said the other day in the show. He's like, "Oh yeah, they blew it up. There was like this site. They're like, all right, we'll take some pictures of it. We're putting a highway in.
Yeah, right. It's gone.
What?
Gone.
In
That's just
1970.
lack of foresight.
But it's such a big thing that we oversee because it's connected to the Serpent Mound, and like I said, like it's really connected to the Central America, South America, and India. It's all connected. But when we start to erase, it's just start erasing it all. It's just sad to see,
That connection gets erased too
Yeah,
with all the other places.
yeah,
That's why when somebody like VJ comes here and he's like, Serpent Mounds representing Kundalini Yoga.
yeah, yeah. Exactly.
You're seeing the words, the same words. You're seeing, Tamil words
That's an
everywhere.
interesting point. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why, from India, he comes to Serpent. He's like looking around at all the mounds. Like, these are all temple complexes. This is really
Exactly.
advanced shit.
We're tearing down the temples.
God,
Yeah.
it makes me sick, dude.
Yeah.
When you say it like that, it really hits me right
Yeah.
in the gut.
because this used to be all, like there was buffalo here. A lot
there
of people
was.
don't even know about.
There was. Yep. The Buffalo Trace
Yeah,
coming up from Kentucky.
yeah. So I mean, just imagine that. So we have that here. A lot of it's been erased.
We can't imagine a deer in our. Well, Mike gets deer. But,
Yeah,
we don't get
2
deer in
my
German Village.
backyard.
Yeah,
Gets a lot of squirrels down there, rabbits, but like real ecological and wildlife, and no.
right.
People aren't. Again, it's like trying to say, "Hey, I want Chichen Itza." Okay,
Yeah,
somebody can't really conceive it unless they've watched enough or read up on it enough or done their homework. Like they really have no idea what you're talking about. Like you'd be telling them you went to the moon for all they knew. Like they would have no concept.
Yeah.
Like
yeah.
myself included, it's hard to really put yourself there until you do it.
Yeah, there's rich history here, and it's just like the only thing that is seen is like I don't know, what do you want to call it? Colonialism and stuff like that, and it doesn't go past that.
Which is baffling.
Right? They're like the first baseball game, that kind of stuff. I was
Oh,
like,
God.
bro, there's so
Down
much richness
here, they live it. It's
Yeah,
all
fact.
represented in their
Exactly.
town, like you were saying.
Right.
They're always
Yeah.
paying homage to it.
Right, exactly.
We pay homage to, Ohio was established in, Worthington, Ohio is
Right.
1810.
Right.
That's when history starts.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is how they This is how they made some butter. You know what I'm saying? It's just like there's so
boring
much.
shit.
This is how history starts right here. Like,
Right.
oh God,
It
they
started
bought
with
it for
butter,
a while.
right
Or at least
there.
I think they,
Right.
they sold it hard enough in schools and stuff that's how we had
Exactly.
dinner with the Pilgrims, and then we,
Yeah.
kindly stole their home,
Like right.
and there was nothing before that.
But there was so much richness and connection then that we just don't
Maybe more
understand.
here than
Yeah.
arguably anywhere.
Yeah. Yeah.
That Mike has said too a lot of times.
Yeah,
It's just so
a lot of it comes-
frustrating.
yeah.
Like, nobody
It's
hears about
overshadowed
it.
for sure.
We don't learn about Serpent
Yeah.
Mound until we're later on in life, or even the mounds in general. Like,
Yeah.
it's now starting to gain more of that traction though, and awareness level. Like again, even from that mural that you're talking about too. Like it's taking steps. It's starting to borrow some of those concepts and qualities of what you like around the city near Palenque, right? So that's encouraging because that's
Right.
cool to see. If you're seeing it there, we're slowly starting to see that here. And I think culture and history are becoming so much more important. People trying to find out, what is local, what is going on here, and bring that back to life and bring it back to awareness level. So I think it's hopefully going to take hold more.
I think we're getting there. I think there's people interested in this stuff.
Right.
History is
TikTok, go on TikTok. You know how many ancient civilization TikTokers there are?
Yeah.
Spreading information about places like this. It just takes awareness. It takes it takes conversations like this.
yeah.
There's 18, 19, 20-year-old dudes that might be watching this show and going, oh shit, I've never even thought about, going to some place like this and going to somewhere ancient and trying to discover, figure out the past.
Yeah. The
and
appreciation.
Look at these places.
Yeah.
Really once you get there, you don't really have to, it's more of a feeling than it is, you're analyzing things, but you're more feeling it
Just
when you go there.
yeah, just picking up the breadcrumbs. That's all it is, to help you remember.
And then you can come out of it being very confused. Like when I went to Chaco Canyon, I left that sleeping in that valley, camping in that valley for 3 days. I left more confused than ever because the longer you're there, the more confusing it is. It's like there's nothing I figured out about this place. It literally is a freaking mystery, and you can try to draw a conclusion, but I still to this day have no conclusion on that place. I camped there for 3 days and walked around and went to every single site. It just didn't make sense. It just really, really doesn't. It's so advanced and beyond our understanding. But you walk away feeling blown away, and something spiritually happens to you where it does wake you up out of a slumber and appreciate the stars and once you want to connect. So did you feel like you brought some of that home with you?
Yeah, I guess so. Definitely appreciation. That's for sure, and understanding like I guess past lives and situations, and definitely like I'm talking about incorporating artwork, but just sharing that message through whatever art I can possibly do, you
Yeah.
know, that kind of thing. But it just really takes it, and there's more to life than you know it, you know, and it's really simple, you know, that kind of thing. But just sharing in stories and conversations, you know, making like, oh shoot, I didn't know that, you know, that kind of thing. Or I didn't have never thought of it like that way,
Yeah.
you know.
Right.
I joke a lot. I have a saying where I feel like a 98-year-old man in my mind all the time. Like I have that curmudgeon ability sometimes, but like I used to get frustrated because I would say that this is what all we really want to do in life is literally what we're doing right now. Sitting around, sharing ideas,
Right.
being a part of the greater,
This is the new
bigger
campfire.
picture.
Right, exactly.
You know?
Yes, absolutely.
But, you know, whether it used to be like, well, we need to go to a bar or do this or be at a restaurant. It's like, I can be at my house. I just want to hang out with, all I really want out of this scenario is
having
being with you
conversation.
people. Yeah. Like,
Right.
That's the whole part of it. And that's why a lot of these sites are
The
so
bro zone
important.
is everywhere wherever you are.
Right.
The bro zone doesn't have to be at the bar, at
Right.
the club, at, you know, somewhere exciting.
Philosophy of mind.
The bro zone can be, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It is. It's a state of being,
Yeah.
and
This
then
is
that's
the
why
bro
these
zone.
sites too. You get people get. It's just like stadiums and the not sporting, but when you can gather people there collectively to even give them that larger awareness and scope too. Then it even just it's like an amplifier, right? So
It's
then you imagine these sites back with hundreds of thousands or however many people are at some of these at a time for different events or ceremonies
Right.
or whatever was going on. Like
it's
I'm sure that was just overwhelming. Like I can't imagine.
yeah.
It'd be wild.
What are we looking at then on this photo? This looks like
I
you're
forget the name.
up pretty
Monte. I'm gonna butcher it. Monte something. My bad. But it's in Oaxaca. You know.
Okay.
So, the pretty much the people of the sky. You know, the
I was
temple
about
up
to say
there.
the doorway looks
Yeah.
like it leads to it.
It looks like you're up there in elevation. You're up in the mountains for sure.
Yeah, exactly.
That's cool.
This is
Over on the Puebla.
Is that the volcano that just erupted?
You know what? I'm not sure.
There was something about there. There might be some evacuations going on in Mexico because of a volcano going and erupting here.
it's a big
Look
volcano.
into it. Yeah.
And there's 2 volcanoes.
I'm not sure of where.
I'm right in that. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
2 here.
Yeah. 2 there.
Oh.
Yeah, they have the whole story with it. Yeah, a whole love story that's
okay.
represented in a lot of the Mexican culture. You know, so yeah, regarding the two volcanoes.
That's cool.
Yeah,
No, that's I know the Tahitians have myths about 2 volcanoes as well. The Polynesian culture, I know they have some kind of a tale about one volcano erupts and then the other one like comes through and is waiting and waiting and waiting, and then it's waited so long that the volcano's waiting so long it actually recedes underneath the sea. Meanwhile, the one he's been waiting for erupts and comes up above the sea, and so the volcano, I guess you could say the lady volcano, sings for him, and then he erupts again, and then the 2 volcanoes live together.
Exactly.
It's really
Yeah.
really strange. I
very
don't know.
similar. Yeah, it's very similar.
That's wild how this place in that Polynesian story,
Yeah.
Pixar actually made a short out of it called Lava.
Mm.
That's wild, dude.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful church
Yeah, it's a beautiful church, and at the same time, it's just kind of like
built on top of
it's like a big
ruins.
giant middle finger to you know.
Oh,
it's
yeah.
just, man. Right.
We
Just-
claim it.
Right, big old middle finger.
Yeah.
You know, it's just wild. You know, just understanding all that.
This is the model. If you want to explain,
Yeah, this is a model. Yeah, it was a giant pyramid, and they build it through stages, so it grows. So as the different eras and stuff like that, the pyramid gets bigger and bigger, and they build onto it. You know, and then the Spanish came in and stuff like that. Conquistadors came in and it kind of did their thing and put a church on top. You know, that kind of thing. So it's just
Gave it a
kind
little
of like
touch
a
up.
nice
Yeah.
little,
just a
you
little
know,
decoration.
look
right?
how
Exactly.
it's all covered up with debris and dirt.
Mm-hmm.
And then over on the right, it's cleared away. Like you can see the pyramid.
Yeah, they're trying to show you like what it looks like now and kind of like what's underneath, that kind of thing. And it's humongous. It
looks enormous.
Big.
That's wild.
It's one of the most, I want to say one of the larger pyramids for sure.
Yeah, it's big.
Yeah, So.
And did you end up going to Chilola?
No,
you didn't. Okay.
No.
And then this is one of the
cool.
Yeah, there's some of the sites. Yeah, so it's Anthropology Museum in Mexico, and some of the sites I didn't get to go see because one, I didn't have time. I think I missed two of the sites I didn't get to go see.
Yeah,
I didn't have that time, or the bus situation was just I'm not going to get there in time, or that it just didn't work out. But when I went through Anthropology Museum is amazing because they show different. Not, I guess, timelines, but different homage to each of the civilizations, in order, in a way.
Very cool.
So some of the sites that I missed, I was like, oh crap, they have it right here.
Kind of play catch up on it.
Yeah. So it's like, oh, well, this is what you missed, that kind of thing. So
nice.
Here we are. Here's a replica of what you missed, So that was really, really cool. But just seeing all this afterwards was just kind of more a bigger understanding and just kind of like reflections of the whole journey that has happened,
Right.
So it was really
So you're getting both sides of the coin of
Yeah.
The kind of study of it and the actual hands-on
Yeah.
approach to going and visiting all the sites and comparing and contrasting, getting all that knowledge as well.
Yeah, so going to the places and then seeing it versus the other way around, that kind of thing. It was just like, yeah, it was amazing. I was like,
That's
wow,
cool.
this is cool. I'm putting it
So
all
rad.
together now.
Is that a howler monkey, or did they say what type of?
No,
Okay.
yeah, just monkey. So,
Gotcha.
Yeah.
The upside
More
down
modern
bird, or
art.
is that a bat on the shirt there?
Yeah.
The gown.
I want to say the vulture. I want to say.
That's sweet.
So many
That's a
colors.
cool
are
image.
incredible.
Yeah, and just I think this was a diorama or whatever you want to call it, and just showing how representation of what the time
Sure.
was.
I'll tell you what, I'm down with all of it.
Yeah.
The clothing,
Yeah,
the lifestyle.
yeah.
Colors, the art, just the beauty.
And
That's
this
amazing.
one right here, I forget the name of it. But she's a goddess, and it's just it's amazing how much detail they put into it. But it's either like the snake you're looking at the top. It's either just looking at each other or they're looking at you. But she's always watching you. That kind of thing.
Right.
But underneath, which I didn't know, and they didn't tell you this, but at a different museum, because I went to different museums, they showed the bottom of it. Even the bottom of it has a whole glyph.
What?
Yeah.
Why would
So
they
the
put it on the bottom?
Exactly. And why would you do that? Why would you go ahead, let's go ahead and decorate the bottom?
No
even-
one's gonna see.
Exactly. Why would you do
Oh,
that?
that's weird.
That sounds like
I've
a Far
been-
Side cartoon where the one
Right.
stonemason walks up to the last one and goes, "Why'd you carve that?" I'm joking. I mean,
Wrong
I would
side.
say there's a purpose to it, but
Yeah, there's
albeit
something.
it's
Oh,
not
God.
a
It's all-
display
yeah, it's
aesthetic
all-
purpose, but it's inscribing that. It's almost like spell casting and words being spells,
Yeah, symbols and yeah.
right?
Absolutely. Definitely a lot
Olmec?
of spells.
These are my favorite.
I love the
Olmec heads. It's a fascinating culture.
Yeah, and that's one of the places I missed out. They have a museum up northern of that of Oaxaca,
Okay,
and I missed that one.
they have a lot of Olmec.
Yeah, it was just all Olmec heads that I missed out.
Is
So I gotta
Oaxaca
go
an
back.
Olmec area?
No,
Okay.
no.
They just had a museum that were
Yeah.
coming. So the Olmec area, is that, I know it's kind of like south central
It's
Mexico.
It's the
Or is
coast. It's the coast, closer to the coast of Mexico,
Gotcha.
of the
Gotcha.
Yucatan.
Wow. This is a very famous image here.
That's interesting.
Yeah, the fire god.
hmm
And that's one of those moments like this one I've always been obsessed with. Like you get like different art and stuff like that. You're always like, oh yeah, that's amazing.
I gotta see.
And then to see it in person, I was like, oh shit,
You had a painting
Mhm.
a while back yellow background with kind of like a skeleton figure with like a headdress that kind of reminds me a little. And I heard you say earlier you take some of your influence for your artwork from that.
Right.
But just that kind of weird, oversized. I don't know if it's a headdress, if it's a actual crown, a hat. What's going on there?
Balancing
But
something on their head for some.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's really cool. I just instantly made me think of that painting of yours.
Right.
That's really neat.
Yeah. So just seeing a lot of the artwork that inspired me and I've always been drawn to in person was really a whole full
Hitting
circle.
the candy store.
Yeah. Oh yeah. All day.
I bet, dude.
All day. Like
Sir, you're gonna have to leave the museum now. You make me.
Right.
Like that. Look
Yeah.
how polished
Took so many
this
pictures.
looks.
So many pictures.
That looks like a interstellar
Yeah.
horseshoe.
This is the Olmec art. You know.
Wow, look how
What?
just unbelievably polished
And Olmec
refined
is
it is.
Olmec is pre all that. You know.
Right.
Pre all that. So imagine like civilization beyond that on this
Right.
level. You know.
I can't-
Right.
It's
just-
so hard
even
to
more
do.
advanced.
Yeah. Exactly.
It's hard. It's hard for me to think about
Like
the
what?
Roaring Twenties or the Old West or that's not far.
Yeah.
That's not far ago, but it's
Right. And
hard to
Intric-
wrap your head around
intricacy
thinking about it.
yeah.
And the symmetry. of
Placing
that.
yourself in that lifestyle.
Right. And they had this, and they say Olmec, but that's really not their name. You know, they
That's
put
just
it
what they
just
got ascribed.
Yeah. Exactly,
Old
because it's just-
Mexico.
it goes so it predates so many things.
We don't know what to do with this.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Ooh, Jade Mountain.
That's interesting.
that's Pacal. That's what I was saying is going all full circle. So I went to the Pacal tomb, and then you see the actual, you know,
Was this his death
funerary
mask?
mask.
yeah,
Or funeral-
yeah,
okay,
yeah,
funerary mask.
yeah. So that would
And he has a
be
gorget.
yeah, that's
Oh,
what would
Jade.
be in the tomb, you know, if you know.
That's amazing.
So yeah.
They found stuff like that in Ohio, like the gorgets, and it's wild.
That's so cool. That's
Yeah.
pretty awesome.
I just felt like I took a picture of this. I just felt like it was a really good representation that reminded me of it all. You know how everything was kind of it's visionary explanation of
Yeah.
what is going on.
Sure.
You know.
Father
That's your own
Sky,
hieroglyph
Yeah.
for your
Mother
memory.
Earth,
Yeah, exactly. It was just like
the sea, the mountains.
Yep.
So many symbolism, so many things. You know.
Piece
And
And then
of-
you
Yeah.
look back at it and it kind of like charges your brain up
Yeah.
again and takes you on that journey. And
Right. Yeah.
That's
with,
neat,
with
man.
the animals, the birth, the trees. You know.
Having a baby.
You know, the volcanoes, the even low key the pyramids.
Is that
you
a
know.
snake in the middle?
Yep. And so that
Wow.
yeah,
Yeah, that's
the life
deep.
and death.
unbelievable
Wow.
Describe-
visionary art.
Yeah, so it was just a whole. Yeah, I had to
Panel
capture.
series.
You know.
These are modern artists.
Yeah, modern artists. Yeah.
painters.
So that was in the museum. I think that was the best
That I would
representation.
love to own that. That really
Mhm.
speaks to me.
Exactly.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
Damn, dude. Really cool. Really cool.
Yeah.
Well, these are
So
kind of
much
hard for
symbolism.
our audience listening at home. And
Yeah, they're
I'm going to have a tough time describing each one of these.
Yeah.
But what we're looking at here is essentially just a series of incredible visionary art paintings of, ancient indigenous people with a lot of symbolism. You got the sun, you have maybe some temples in the background, but it's got that shamanistic vibe to it.
Right.
But it also feels like ancient Hindu.
Hmm.
Like there's Hindu art kind of has this kind of vibe a little bit. There's a lot going on in these paintings, but
Yeah, visionary
unbelievable.
expression of the past.
Mm-hmm. And there's kind of the whole shot.
That goes.
Another temple.
Yeah, this is the church. This is a church which is built on
Okay.
top of the Aztec temple in Mexico City, which is the heart of Mexico City.
Right.
You know, it's
Mexico
it's
City
another-
is
Yeah.
a ruin.
Yeah, exactly.
It's built
That's
on
what-
top of like
exactly.
Cusco, Peru.
Yeah.
Mexico City is like Cusco,
It's exactly
Peru.
what it is.
Yeah,
That's,
you
and you can
see-
feel it. You can know there's something like, yeah, you can definitely feel it, and it's definitely the same example as the Puebla and the church on top. You know, same
Gotcha.
thing. You know,
that's cool.
There's Teotihuacan,
yeah,
the Pyramid of the Sun. This
Called-
is
yeah.
you were here on the equinox.
yeah. This
spring
equinox. That was my finish
Bro.
run. That was my like. It was the the finish line,
Yeah,
of the
yeah.
journey. It was just like,
Yeah.
all right, here you are. This is the last one. We're ending with this. I wish I got to climb on top,
Yeah.
Wish I would have done that. But yeah, just being there in the present and seeing all of it lined up was amazing,
Pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the
Good for
moon and the
you.
moon pyramid too. I mean, during this day, they had a whole, people there. Everybody's wearing white and to soak up the energies from the solstice
really?
and stuff like that. That
Wow.
kind of thing. So, and then going to the moon pyramid and just being in the center. Yeah, and it was busy. It was busy because of the whole
Equinox.
equinox. Exactly.
Yeah. It's a lot of space out there.
Hmm.
Look at the rays coming off that sun. Look at all the points.
Isn't that wild? Yeah, and it's
That's
pointing
awesome.
straight down
Jeez,
over the pyramid.
I believe you now.
Yeah.
Soaking up the rays. Look at them. They're reaching down
Mhm.
towards it.
Yeah.
And it's an arid climate that's, I don't know, what would you say, like 45 minutes outside of Mexico City? Is it further than that? It's outside Mexico City.
It's outside. It's not too far.
It's not too
Yeah,
far.
it's not
It
too
looks
far
like
from
really clean air
Yeah.
because you can definitely tell there's no pollution through that sky. See
Yeah, it's
those
out in the
rays
country.
drop like that.
So, yeah.
That's
But from
bananas.
above Teotihuacan, the site as a whole looks like a circuitry.
it. Yeah,
Looks like a
yeah.
circuit board. It's lined up in this way that looks like it's meant to carry energy or electricity from spot to spot. It's really, really strange.
Yeah, yeah,
But you were saying you felt this is Aztec. I was feeling the Mayan vibe
yeah.
because of so you had a great time here, but you definitely felt more connected to
Yeah,
Palenque.
it was appreciation as like I loved it, but it was definitely I know where, things were kind of are.
Your people were
Yeah,
down
exactly.
south.
But yeah,
further.
but at the same time, we're all connected. All the
Yeah,
way up
yeah.
to the Polynesian to North American, all that. We're all cousins and brothers and sisters, so it's all connected. But yeah, but this is it's not too far from Mexico. I stayed there. Well, Mexico City. I stayed there for a couple of days, 4 or 5 days or something like that.
Yeah.
And just kind of went around. But yeah, that was the last pyramid.
Mexico City. I'd
yeah,
like to go there.
yeah. That's where the museum was.
Big city.
Yeah, it's a Latin New York.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Man,
Oh,
this has been awesome, dude.
I feel like I've been on a journey.
This is I know. I feel like I almost was like with you. I hope it was you had a good time kind of rehashing this stuff with us and got to maybe relive, kind of get yourself back there and reflect a little bit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I'd say there's like 35% of the journey, kind of explained. There's more into it and whatnot. But yeah, that's the big chunks of it for
Nice.
sure.
We'll have to. I'm sure we'll talk more about the other parts.
This
I'm
is
gonna, I'm gonna
this
be
has been great.
Yeah.
pestering
Yeah.
you for all kinds of stuff.
And I get excited too because I mean all the things discovered and stuff like that, and realization. Now you guys are bringing that up with different hosts and different talks and different. I'm like, oh crap, it's all. That's exactly what that was.
Oh, really?
That kind of thing. Yeah, absolutely.
That's awesome. So we're starting to hit on some more synchronicities, and
Exactly.
that's cool.
Yeah.
It's been lining
what
up.
it's about,
There's a lot
and-
of things that have been lining up here with us, with the show and just information that's coming at us from different sources that we didn't expect. But like you said, it is all connected, no doubt.
Mm-hmm.
Just keep being curious.
That's right.
Exactly.
So, I mean, let me know if there's anything that you want to leave our audience with, anything that you want to, final last words of, to put the cherry on top of, with this episode here and let us know any last words about your trip or anything that you might be having that's
Right.
coming up that you want to raise awareness to, or
Right. I think it's more than anything is just like I did my own journey, but at the same time I think everybody should. And don't ever be scared to do what scares you. I think scare is exactly what you should be doing because you never know what's behind the fear of the door,
hey,
So I think everybody do things that are out of your norm because you don't know what you're gonna unlock, And it's always like remember the past, There's more than just what you see and living in, There's definitely a whole other story that needs to be unfolded for you that that you're a part of, that everybody's a part of. It's just not myself. It's just everybody has a connection with everything. So definitely explore those things and don't be scared. Just do it. Anything.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be, traveling, going through, pyramids and stuff like that. Just whatever you want to do it. Just fucking do it.
Right.
Just do it.
Whatever that
Don't
is
keep
for
waiting.
you.
And don't
First
wait.
of all,
You don't want to
wait.
wait. Just
find
there's-
out what that
and you're
is
never,
for you.
and that's
you
the big
know?
thing too. Like you're never ready. You're never going to be ready. You never.
Right.
So just do it.
But now more than ever, if you want to research it, if you want to plan, if you want to figure it out, all the information and tools and resources are there. Talk to your friends that travel.
Right.
Get on a message board. Go on, get on
And
Reddit, find it out.
Right. It's a perfect opportunity to do it now for the fact that it's all through the technology now. You know what I'm saying? It's so much easier than it would have been like 10 years ago, 15 years ago,
absolutely.
Like for instance, like the buses and stuff like that, everything was easy, it was pretty, but I think it's like the more evolved we get, the more it's just easy to do it now because you have the internet, you have the phones, you have all this stuff that can tell you where to go. You can have a guide on your phone, that kind of thing. So
which to a certain degree almost kind of makes it seem to me, I like the unpredictable nature sometimes. So like always having the GPS or map, it does make me go, not that it was always fun to get lost on a road trip, but sometimes,
fun.
It's just, sometimes it's the best story getting lost.
Yeah.
You know, like, but it is for anybody that wants to travel and has those worries of, I won't be able to, anything that you're concerned about, you can handle figuring out.
Right.
It's
there's so many
do it.
There's so many fear factors like, oh, don't go because of this and that. Don't listen to anybody. Just do, if you feel like you're guided to do it, then do it.
Get after it. Right on.
Don't let anybody change your mind on that,
I agree with that.
Yeah. Sure.
Well, you guys heard it here. Thank you for that message. Thank you for your story. This was just like
great time.
Great. I mean, we talked a little bit about tiny little bits of your journey, but I didn't get the full story. Or I know, like you said, it's still only 35%. But I'm so happy we did this. Where can we find you? Where can people reach out? Where can we see your art? Where can we?
How do we keep
get some
track of you?
tattoos?
See some
Let
of this
everybody
artwork?
know.
I think I'm mostly on Instagram. It's just going to be at ROA Tattoos. That's ROA_tattoos. That's where it's mostly at. I do have a link tree. I think it's linktree/ROA Studios. That has a bunch of other links that's connected to my tattoo shop and all the other things, But yeah, that's the main spot that I would be mostly posting and sharing what the journey is, at the
We'll
moment.
make sure and have that in the description for us.
Oh, yeah.
And the shop is Fifth Element Tattoo
Fifth
Gallery
Element Tattoos.
on Parsons. So if you're in the Columbus area and in the
Stop in.
Ohio area,
Grab some flash.
absolutely.
Get a custom piece.
And
Yes.
ROA has some incredible artists down there too.
And imagine getting a tattoo
Unbelievable.
while hearing some of these stories.
Yeah.
Like, man,
Getting
I
a
might come in
tattoo
for the
from
tattoo
you-
just to get the story. Like,
Getting a tattoo from ROA is
it's
like
an experience.
It's like a therapy session.
Yeah, it's wonderful.
And we're more than a tattoo shop. We're a tribe. You know
Oh,
what I'm saying?
absolutely.
And we're really all good people just trying to do the right thing and
Absolutely.
just share our artwork, and express
Last time I
ourselves.
was there,
You guys
I
are
was
doing it right.
comparing tattoos with some other dude who was getting a big one down his
Right.
ribs, and I was like, "Oh my god, that has to hurt." And he was like, "No, man, like yours is bigger." I was like,
Yeah.
I've never heard that before at a tattoo shop. I actually feel like I'm in the game now, but yeah, no, it's cool, the vibe and everybody. Hey, what do you think of this? What's your opinion on that? Like,
Great vibe.
It's all about
you
the
like this
experience.
aesthetic?
Yeah.
It's so much fun. I love the atmosphere.
Yeah,
And ever since the
appreciate that.
first
Thank
tattoo that you did for me, it's just been a snowball, man.
Yeah.
It's not going to stop anytime soon.
Yeah.
So
Absolutely.
Well,
Yeah.
this has been mind blowing. This
Yeah.
has been enlightening.
Thank you.
We've gotten to chop it up with ROA, get to catch up with you because I haven't seen you since before you left.
right.
And as soon as you got back, you hit the ground running. I think you got inspired with your business, with trying to take it to the next level. So
Yeah,
I'm
playing the
glad
catch-up.
we finally got to sit down and do this, dude.
Absolutely.
And I appreciate you. We appreciate you
No,
from
thank
the
you,
bottom
dude.
of our
Always.
hearts. Thank you.
Yeah. Appreciate you guys. Thank you for just giving me the opportunity
man.
to stay here. You know what I'm saying? This is great. This is awesome. I'm proud of you guys.
Dude, you have helped the Bro Zone 2.0 look around here, folks.
Yeah.
This definitely would not be what it is.
You're all
without
over this
your
place.
boy over here.
You are all
your
over
boy.
this place. Whether it's on the walls or in spirit or in just thought. I mean, you're always here.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, yeah, that's what's up. I love you guys. I appreciate you. And
Same.
yeah, I hope to see what comes in the future. Maybe a different episode down the road, you know?
Oh, of course.
I'm sure we'll
Always.
do
Doors
more.
always open.
Yeah.
And we just might be having Roa, if he's welcome to stay and be a co-host of the Strange Happenings episode we're getting ready to do here in, I don't know, 45 minutes.
Let's go.
After I run to McDonald's.
Yeah, after we got to get some food.
Go, right.
So we're going to wrap it up. You guys can follow us at The Strange Road. We're on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter.
Yep.
You can also hit us up, The Strange Road Hitchhikers. That's our Facebook group. Please go check out the YouTube channel. We're always putting out clips, reels, shorts. Shorts have been getting back on track. We've got some awesome clips rolling out.
We got some
from
new
Hollow
clips
Sky,
with
Appalachian Intelligence, Joel Thomas clips and reels and shorts and TikToks are going to start rolling out. So keep an eye out and ear out for all those things.
Right.
You guys can, of course, listen Spotify, Apple, Google, all podcast platforms. Share this video, share the audio version. If you like what you hear, give us a positive comment. 5-star reviews are always welcome. 5-star or bust. And we're actually because we really want to keep live streams and all that stuff ad free. We do want to remind you guys that we do have the super stickers and the super chat. So if you tune into our live stream in the lower right hand corner, you will see we have the super sticker and super chat. So if you want to support your boys, we would appreciate the hell out of you. And we're always trying to add new things and grow the show. And so, it's been a hell of a road, and we just appreciate everybody's support so very much.
You guys rock.
And
Keeps us going.
Absolutely. And if you're not subscribed, hit subscribe, hit that notification bell, because it does help you keep in contact with us and it notifies you when we go live. So if you don't follow us on Instagram or Facebook, you just hit that notification bell. You'll know exactly every time we go live and when we put new stuff out. So we really had a blast on this one, and we wish you guys all the best. Bub, any last words other than thanking Stoner and Master
good.
Control?
Stoner, the loner
tonight. He's back there kicking it with his lonesome. And like we said, we have some exciting stuff coming up this Thursday, which is going to be, what is the actual date? I guess if this comes out a little bit later. Well, anyways, we have an episode with Jesus Pion Jr. It's so hard because we release these
because this is in the future.
This
what
is
we're
gonna
doing
be,
right now is in the future, and won't come out till next Thursday.
Well, at some
what
point,
we're doing this Thursday, is what he's.
At some point, you will see or hear or watch an episode with Jesus Pion Jr., aka Gonzo from Breaking Bad.
Pretty
is going to be on
that.
the show.
I'm going to have to really keep myself in check.
Keep an eye out for that. And we've got some big shows coming up. This has been a big show. Bub, any last words before we take off?
All I know is Roe's coming back some point. So just,
we know
you guys enjoyed this. Get ready for round 3 because this is round 2.
And Roa
OG
being
started it all.
The Intercontinental Champion of the Strange Road.
One love. One love.
Roa.
One love. Thank you. Thank you all so much.
Absolutely.
The man. We appreciate you, brother.
This has been a blast.
Good things are coming.
I feel
all of us, for sure.
I feel it. And that's signing out. Peace.
Later, guys.
Thank you.